Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to 9 to 5. We're into our last matchup of the Swiss system. It is too hot for this. I don't know how you're wearing a shirt, Dwayne, but it is 35 degrees. My house is insulated to the teeth. I'm sweating, so I apologize if I look like crap today. I'm the Eternal J, by the way. This is Dwayne, of course, my co-commentator for this one. We're taking you through SG.pro versus Big Clan. Yeah, let's start talking about this matchup, mate. Obviously, I'm going to ask you how
olds on the lineup. So it's really cool to see how many sort of young rosters are coming through and actually competing at quite a high level at the moment to, well, potentially get into the playoffs because one of these teams will.
It's curious how you made that description about SG.pro, and actually, like, I hear the number of similarities between their ages and the likes of Gambit youngsters, for example. And one of the things I think people might draw attention is to that. Like, do you think that this is a team that might really reach that potential or live up to that those kind of not expectations, I want to say, but certainly like that possible outcome, I think, for this CIS team. Like, do you think this is a team that could go that high?
I don't know. I don't think so, honestly. I certainly think in terms of firepower and tactical depth, it's a big sort of difference at the moment between them and Gambit youngsters. Maybe if they stay around for quite some time, then we can see a bit of a progression. But I can certainly see players getting picked off in this lineup. Like Fame in particular, I mean, I've watched him several times in the past, and he's really impressive. I certainly think he's going to be the next prodigy coming out from the CIS region. I think you've got Kisei as well, who's a phenomenal AWPer. So you look at this side and you think you've got two fantastic players. I hope that they stay together. Again, similar to the Gambit youngsters, I hope they stay together and start working forward. But I could potentially see a couple of players in this lineup getting picked up and kind of moving up the ranks in the CIS region.
Yeah, I can see that being a thing as well. I mean, for SG.pro, I mean, they're sort of like competing against some really staunch talents again from the Gambit youngster side as well. Focusing on that a little bit later, we'll transition to our map videos, which you can see coming up on screen. Inferno and Vertigo banned first. Train picked by SG.
Close results, and they've actually looked pretty dominant against some of the top teams in the region. So you've got to look at this matchup and think, for Big Academy, considering they faced off against Aves and Azako Boars, that SG.pro is probably a lesser of a threat, I think, than some of the matches they've played so far. So I think they're going to have a little bit of an easier time, especially on their own map pick. Train coming through makes a lot of sense for SG.pro. It's a map that they play pretty often. Big Academy don't. But Overpass is a bit of a weird one because for Big Academy, it's like one of their best maps in the map pool, and I'm not really sure how SG.pro allowed it to come through. I'm surprised they didn't want to gamble Dust 2 as that last map, but instead, with Overpass coming out, I think Big Academy can be really happy with this veto process.
Yeah, and we can see how Big Academy sort of worked that T-side on Overpass, taking some dominant results in the past. It's not their most played map in the pool, but coming in a close second alongside Dust 2 with the highest win percentage, with the exception of Vertigo, which, they played it once and they won that map in the last 3 months. Like statistically speaking, it is their best map in the pool. And for me, seeing how much that T-side just swamped through everything, I think if we go to a third map, Big have got this under wraps. There's just nothing here that indicates to me that Big should be, losing control in a third map context. The issue, I think, is that the main two maps, because we definitely have the strongest map for SG.pro and the strongest map for Big in the in the pool. I mean, at least when it comes to specifics, because I wouldn't say that Nuke is the strongest map for Big, but when you consider that they haven't played it at all on the SG.pro side, you definitely take a look at this and think, okay, Train should go one way and Nuke should go another way.
Yeah, look, absolutely. Yeah, I certainly don't think in those first two maps that it will be like a 16-14, a 16-3, or 16-13, I should say. Because at least in the last couple of games we've had, in 9 to 5 in the Swiss stage, we've had both map picks from, like, pretty much every team being a little bit more one-sided from one another. So I look at these maps in the pool and I think, right, first map should go relatively easily, second map should go relatively easily, and then I think third is really where it might start to get a bit interesting. We might have a little bit of a closer affair. But I certainly think for Big Academy, like if they can show up, if they can get the individuals to play at a high performance that we've seen from them over the course of the last week, then they should be able to take this best of 3.
Yeah, I'm certainly riding the big hype train for this one. You know, I think the veto has worked fantastically for them. I just think that, you know, the first 2 maps are going to be very different sort of results. And maybe we could be seeing some one-sided matches in that respect. For me, though, like, I'm definitely looking at this thinking to myself, like, I think that Big should take it. The thing is, we've seen a number of big upsets over the course of the Swiss system. I mean, just a few moments ago, we saw Tiki Taka and beat out Crazy, who I never ever would have picked to have lost that matchup. Like, for me, that should have been a one and done for Crazy. Like, one of the most promising sort of Ukrainian lineups right now. Seriously good, seriously consistent elements. And they've dropped off against the likes of Tiki Taken, who, yeah, they're kind of relatively unknown. They're relatively unpredictable. So there is that like surprise element. But, you know, like when it comes to talent, I would have put Crazy above them. So, you know, the online era of Counter-Strike being that which it is. Will we see any major upset coming in from SG.PRO? You know, we haven't seen any major results between these 2 teams. We can't really pull like from a point-to-point, a one-to-one sort of you know, standing. But for these guys, you know, like for SG.PRO, what are their prospects for pulling this best of 3 out of the hat?
They're a pretty good upset team. At least in the games I've seen from them, they can upset. There's no doubt about it. At the same time, though, they in week 5 of the multipliers, which was only a couple of days ago, they got absolutely slapped by both Nordovin and Honorous. Now, Nordovin, you can kind of say, you know, that's fair enough. But to get 2-0'd in that kind of a fashion against Honorous was a bit of a scary sign for me to sort of think, okay, like, you know, maybe they can upset against some of the lower tier teams or some of the higher tier teams, I should say, but then the lower sort of tier 2 teams they're struggling with. So that is a bit of a concern for me. But for SG.PRO, I certainly think there is an opportunity of an upset. If they can come out of the gate firing, they're a really questionable team, similar to Gambit Youngster. Sometimes they do things and you're like, why? Like, it puts question marks in your head, because it certainly seems like for the players, it's not dumb plays, but it's plays that would certainly catch oppositions off guard if you're not ready for it. You know, pushing through smokes, running through Molotovs, you know, just running into a bomb site with a single flashbang. Things like that are what SG.PRO do. Now, if they can able to deliver surprises and kind of catch their opponents off guard, yeah, there's certainly a potential for an upset here.
Well, we got the chance to take a quick look at some of the rosters in the past few weeks, and especially in the case of Big Academy. You know, we've had a chance to cast them a number of different times. I feel like they can overextend a number of opportunities, especially when it comes to their defensive halves. Which, I mean, to be fair, it kind of fits in with the playstyle, because, you know, their T side is amazing, and it is probably one of the best T sides we have at the moment for this kind of level of Counter-Strike. So for them to sort of like be in this position where mistakes can be made against SG.PRO, and you must imagine for a CIS team, they should know how to deal with aggression, because they themselves are aggressive of their own right. You know, it's very sort of built into the core, I think, of that region of Counter-Strike. So, you know, for SG.PRO, there are a number of ways in, but as you mentioned, some big upsets. I guess you could call them upsets. I don't really know if if you could call them that in certain, like for Nordovin, I would have put Nordovin above, you know, SG.PRO. But, you know, to get slapped about in that same sort of way against Honorous, a team who have by all accounts failed to really take off. You know, like for SG.PRO, the question really is which side are we going to see? That SG.PRO or the SG.PRO that got so far as round 5 here in Swiss?
Yeah, look, that's a really good point. And I suppose, you know, only numbers tell so much of a story. Really, we just have to wait until they get into the server, and maybe sort of 5 and 6 rounds in, we can kind of see, okay, you know, are they showing up today? Are they being quiet? And for Big Academy, you've got to think the pressure's on these guys, right? Like, they're not invited to many online leagues. It's the first time that I would suppose their brand name is kind of out there. I mean, Big Clan, obviously, massive in Counter-Strike, but Big Academy, no one's really heard of these guys before. So for these youngsters, you know, this is a lot of pressure. This is a high-pressure match. It's a qualification match to get into the playoffs. So for them, I certainly think that they may be able to buckle under the pressure. I think Tugux, their coach, is going to be able to try and help them out. Maybe it's, you know, taking some tacticals, you know, just trying to run over things before the game with the guys and just try and keep them cool, try and keep them collected. But, yeah, look, I'm going to be interested to see what Big Academy can bring to the table. I certainly feel as if sometimes they overthink things. And I've noticed when they've got advantages, when they've got 4 on 3s or 5 on 4s, they sometimes work too hard to win out the round rather than just slowing it down and playing the numbers game. So certainly in a matchup like this, you've got to try and minimize your mistakes to as little as possible.
Absolutely, and as you mentioned, a very high-pressure environment, a very high-pressure matchup, and you know, a lot of sweat will be broken out between these sides. A lot of sweat being broken out by us already, but we are facing a couple of issues in getting into the matchup at this moment in time, so I'm being asked to go to a break, so that's what we'll do. We'll be back after this very short bit with the first map of Train, of course. It was picked by SG.pro, a big chance to get themselves kick-started here in this best of three, so do not go anywhere as we return. It'll be the first map of our final best of three of Swiss Stage. All right, we're ready to jump into the map up, the matchup here. Our final best of 3 of Swiss and our first map of Train. We do predict Big to win this one by a bit of a close sort of series, but Train, for my liking, should go the way of SG.pro, Blake.
Yeah, look, it certainly should be. I don't see Big Academy being able to upset on their map pick, especially being able to cast SG.pro a few times on this map where they've looked pretty promising. So, I'm going into the knife round. We'll have to wait and see what the start is going to be. It looks like it's actually going to be a knife round going the way of Big Academy. That actually might not be bad for them, because especially starting up on the city side of Train, you know, see if you can get some early momentum going and see if you can get panics on the AWP.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the CT half is the most favoured half of most teams, and a Big would just imagine to switch over to that CT half. Indeed, they do. I mean, any team who picks the T side to start things off is probably about as masochistic as you are, Dweg. So, you know, that's a... So, yes, Big Academy there with a CT start. Going into this pistol round, I mean, if they can get a good CT half, I could see them being able to pull something out of the hat. It's the T sides is where I think both teams are going to need to step up to the fold for, and SG.pro, when they have a good couple of T sides. So, let's get into it. It's our first map up of this best of 3. With the utility out for Crimbo over on the CT side. Defuse and smoke for Anowin to back it all up. A single flash for Kisei. He's dropped 2 P250s between him and Scimitar. So SG.pro out into the brown halls faster than the apartment's default.
Straight away, looking like they want to try and commit over towards this B bomb site. A Big Academy only rocking a single defender here at B. Quick rotator to come in from Panics over from that connected position. This HG from Crimbo, though, if it's timed correctly, could certainly do a lot of damage onto the ramp players.
And they set right on, and it does. Ooh. That's a lot of damage. It tapped up. We're going to take down that first player. Trades do come in quick, though, for the T side. So a 4-on-4 situation. And bomb site control, plant out open to the top of the heaven area. So retake mode for Big Academy. Still with the defuse kit in play with a smoke up that can go for the Ninja. So pushed up here on this T side line. Big have no way to enter it cleanly.
Very aggressive, great shot coming out from D-Ray, and from here the CTs, they know exactly where they are. They already have a player of Senator towards the top of Brown Halls, looking at that pop dog position. All the CTs coming in from the back lines, and SG.pro, well, they've already forced it down to just a single defender here now for Anowin. Got so much to do and so little time. He gets taken down. A great pistol round coming out from SG.pro, and all it came down to, Jay, was making sure that they were pressing the aggression rather than staying back and very shallow on the side. They tried to take some straightaway engagements and were able to win a lot of man advantages.
Yeah, D-Ray in particular pushed up so far to get all 4 of the kills in that round for SG.pro. So a chance available, of course, with these fantastic shots as well, on Process in particular with that tap. And yeah, very nicely traded and held control back from SG.pro. Big Academy back in on the force buy round. Seen a lot of good force buys out for this. They're going to do some early damage as well. Keep saying 46 HP. To kick things off. That scout still looking for wallbang damage. If he gets to pick back up the apartments, that'll be great, but they're all in pop dog at this stage, going to evade all the fire from up high. Senator tapped up by the 5-7 as Haley starts things off. A very nice pick to open up the rounds.
Oh, it's in a couple of nice scout tags as well. Fame and Key stay down quite low. The 5-7 getting aggressive around the Olaf position to try and at least deny any control being taken out to T-Con for the T side. And Big Academy. Now, even with a player that's got very aggressive towards Ivy, this could be even more information coming out from Anowin.
Back off in the end. Not sure if he took a face and saw some players and was just like, yeah, I'm not going to fight. I'm not going to win with a CZ versus AKs and Galils, but he's done his damage, setting a smoke up as well. As soon as he sees someone on their shoulder bait, he's just going to smoke up and stall for time. 50 seconds. SG.pro going to be careful about how they're going to take these challenges, and now he's seen the shot. He's just going to put that smoke down. Try and hold off against him here. Going to continue to re-aggress as well to this cubby corner, so could be a bit of a problem if SG.pro are not ready for this. The bomb is on RU fire as well, so there could be a lot of damage coming in from one player.
It's a B-stack coming out from Big Academy, so as soon as there's a bit of contact being made from Anowin, they could potentially try and rotate in quickly from that composition. Anowin needs to be able to get a couple of kills. Drops that bomb, gets the information, now the rotations can come through.
Scout set for Process, ready for Fame, quickly shuts him down, he's low, and that Scout can take a frag for it. 4-on-2 situation. but doesn't land all the way. There's a gap for that scout to work with. He peeks in, gets Kisei next, and now you got D-Ray here on site. One headshot found, no more than that. Process using the scout as a shotgun and taking us back to evens at 1-1.
I'll tell you what, a Big Academy was so out of position there. We saw the triple stack at the B bomb site with just a... But Process does so much work around that old bomb connected position with the scout. He's able to get a monster amount of kills going through and brings that round as a victory. SG.pro, they can be really disappointed with that. All stacking up at Ivy together, and the entries, well, they just didn't really come out. Ooh.
Oh, nades. 10 HP for Fame. Not a fantastic start for him. I mean, on the force by around, SG.pro just going to get domed. 10 HP for Fame. Not a fantastic start for him. I mean, on the force by around, SG.pro just going to get domed by the HGs. And they kind of bottleneck themselves into that position, so they kind of set themselves up for that. Hades opening up the round here in the SMG. Nice simple kill to find. No major weapons are going to be recovered, so it's mostly about getting those SMGs in play to get the $600 kills. Farm up the cash here for the CT camp.
Let's see if they can get a bit of momentum going. And Crimbo out towards this B bomb site, making sure to try and check the ramp and heaven. Timing is really awkward from him as Fame's been able to open up B.
Ooh, and Incinerator's going to find another kill back here. The AUG going to try to take face. And they've got B-site under wraps. A bit of aggression coming up from Panics. Could find a bomb right, indeed he does. D-Ray next. And Process falling back away as Kisei concedes the IV control. They know that the CT aggression has found the info and the 3-on-3 situation. Got an AK to work with here, so Senator's going to be the main man of the moment. A big backstab coming in as well from Fame. Kisei's pushed in as it looks like this is going to be an A commitment. They found a line in from the Ivy position, but Kisei's going to fall, and Senator's dealt with in the back line. So it's all left to Fame. Bomb now dropped once again, 1 versus 3, to do some damage, potentially get a kill. Bit of a weird scrappy round from SG.pro, but it looks like Big Academy are going to be the ones to come out on top.
Unfortunately, they just didn't really have any commitment with Fame. Like, if he had a teammate or even the bomb to follow, then that was a potential of just getting a plan at B and playing out the post plant. But Fame's alone. It goes for a lurk setup. He clears out B, gets into CT, but with that bomb being dropped out outside of T-Con, there's really nothing that they can do to even try and recover it. Another great round from Big Academy. 2-1 on the scoreboard. Now, with no bomb plant coming out for that third round, Jay, it means that it's got to just be the Glocks. It's got to be very light upgrades, only a single P250. So this should be another easy round coming out for the Big Academy squad.
Kisei downstairs, SMG spray through, doing damage, not getting the frags though, so they overwhelm him. And the AK struggles as well. They've got a 2-for-1 train on this eco. AUG back up, they're going to secure a bomb plant plus damage. This is a very good round actually from SG.pro. If they can hold off against them for the next 40 seconds, then they could potentially steal it. They just got to hold back in passive angles, deal with the backstab player of Hades. He gets this frag in the end. Incendiaries on the bomb site, low HP players, and the last man been spotted and Fame. 1 versus 3 situation, back behind White, being seen now. And then comes Hades with his 2K. So SG.pro, a good effort and a great start in that round, but they were unable to hold it in the post plant. But, you know, for an eco, it's not a bad result.
Now, if I'm SG.pro, I'm thinking, right, we just rushed B, and that was probably one of the weakest holds we've had from them yet. Let's try and do something like that on a gun round. It certainly seems like for the B bomb site that that was looking pretty scary considering what? It was a single P250 and 4 Glocks. They get away with 2 kills, a bomb plant. SG.pro could be really happy with that round.
Plenty of damage done to limit the economy state. You can see what that's going to do here. I mean, even though all in all you need 3 players to profiteer, it's not a massive profit for Big Academy. Therefore, the money's just kind of a bit scrappy right now from several players. 2 on less than 1,000. 1 on 1,550. So certainly not buy potential for Big Academy in the next round. SG.pro set out to the Brown Horse default once again. Not quite as fast as you wanted it to be. Only 1 player defending from upper. If they go for a ramp right now, then Crimbo's just going to be the man to defend on the bomb plant position. They could take B pretty easily if they find that trade.
Now, with how slow SG.pro this could be a really strong crossfire at B.
M4 spray does not get a kill, does damage to 2, but player popping out pop though doesn't even take a firefight. RU Fire gets that frag. Player on default, checked up, for the first and gets the second kill. So it's flanked, set the 3-on-3, even standing, incendiaries to block off the T's coming in. Well, I'm going to push through this fire, actually. AWP close on Fame for RU5, gets Crimbo back to a 2-on-2 situation, but they've been pushed out of the bomb site here on the T side. The bomb out in the open, Big Academy know where it is. It will get picked up and planted eventually, and the AWP goes down, leaving it all to RU Fire. 4K for a clutch for this man, and creeping out towards the oil train. Looking for info, will evade the nades, and the flash is going over, going to blind it entirely. Prostus wins his fight as a result. So there you go. The Academy still struggling in these rounds, but they are getting them on the board.
Okay, look, that was actually a really nice play coming out from Crimbo, and I like that he was actually patient. You know, some people might say, oh, that was a bait setup, he didn't peek on his teammate's contact, but him staying hiding, SG.pro go right. We've already taken down 2 defenders here at B. There's no way there's going to be another one. He swings out, and rather than just getting the bomb planter and going back to hiding, he goes for a secondary kill, brings it back into an even playing field, and just denies so much time for that bomb to get planted. Big Academy showing up pretty well on the CT side so far. Now they're running the double orbs going into round 6, and you've got to think for SG.pro, they need to get on the board. They need to be able to strengthen this T side. Maybe see if they can increase the pacing a little bit.
Double ops upset here from 2 of the CT defenders. A little bit of damage done early to Panics in process. Heavy investment round for the CTs, all things considered, but passive facing at the moment here. One player falling back away from the bomb site. They've got one orb set towards the bomb site, the second set towards Ivy. So no real B site rotation defensive. They're going to have to come in pretty fast here. Smoke down towards Connector. We'll try and block them off, and Crimbo's going to get back to a ground zero position. Get ready for the hit coming out around that corner. Fame gets that frag. AWP can't seem to find the man. He misses his shot for the trade. Turns onto the player at Connector trade, but Fame can get it back to a 4-on-3. Small gap in the smoke. Hades turns it to evens once again, but the bomb plant has been secured in the interim.
And again, we're not seeing any flank setup coming out of this thing. They're working together as a unit, using their utility to try and force the T side back. A lot of control being granted from Big Academy, but they need to follow up with some kills. Process into the action, can't find anything. Senator is going to be able to find 2, and from here, Anowin just has to hold on to that secondary AWP. Yeah, no choice in the matter. SG.pro, a fantastic site take, and you talked about playing fast on the B bomb site. Took a bit of time before they actually got the hit going, obviously, but when it came through, confident as anything there. They struggled to get the trades together, and awkward angles, missed shots with the AWP in particular. And that was a heavy investment as well from Big Academy. They might struggle with this next buy. Yeah, they really will. And one thing that I'm sort of thinking about for Big Academy is maybe just seeing if you can try and take some Brown Horse control, even if you leave an AWP there or something. Because at the moment, SG.pro are hitting B quite often, at least taking Brown Horse control pretty much every round. Yeah, Big Academy are taking map control out towards Ivy and T-Con, but that's really only towards the A bomb site.
Incendiaries up to try and halt the initial hit. T's aren't going to make their way out of T-Con. Look at Process. Look how aggressive he wants to get here. If he pops up at the right time, he can find himself quite a little bit. Nades on. Good frag on the bomb planter. And a good headshot to get the man advantage back. Look at the aggression coming in from Crimbo as well. What a sequence. Great timing. Great frags coming their way.
That's more like it. That's what I wanted to see, the adjustment coming out from Big Academy. I didn't think it would come out pretty much immediately, but they realized the fact, okay, they've been taking a lot of Brown Horse control. Let's just see if we can catch them off guard. We haven't seen anything aggressive on the CT side of the map over at that B bomb site. And SG.pro, I mean, how do they even come back from this now? It's a 3-on-5. They've got pretty much no map control at the moment. Very, very difficult round to bring this back in their favor.
I don't think they can, to be honest. I mean, first of all, they've got to find a kill some way. Their best bet is probably to execute towards one of the bomb sites. Ooh. They do find one at Pop Dog. Okay, that's a good shot from RU Fire. Very little damage done to him and Fame. So, an opportunity now for the T side. But 40 seconds, they're going to act on said opportunity. Looks like they're going to split their way into the A bomb site. They've got Kisei set with the majority of the utility. Smokes in on Fame and RU Fire, so they can smoke out whatever they can. Bit of aggression out towards the T-Con area, though, could be the main issue. Smoke up, or shot from Anowin takes Fame back. The AWP moves in with a knife out. UMP gets that frag. RU Fire, last man standing. Are you dead, mate? I think the answer to that question is going to be a big oh yes.
That's a great round. And again, this is where we see the T-Con presence coming out from the city side working out nicely. We see Kisei just have no idea that someone's pushed up that aggressively. Okay, this is certainly not what I expected to come out from Big Academy. Yeah, it's still early days and we're only 7 rounds into the game, but to go up 5-2, you've got to think that they can start putting the pressure on because they've got 3 orbs. What is going on here?
I mean, it is train, so,
Big
you know.
Academy.
We are seeing a bit of an awkward setup, though. I think we're calling out for some for a tech pause based on the text I'm hearing in my head. Yeah, stop call just to rerun that round. I'm not sure what the issue is specifically. I mean, maybe it was a misbuy. Maybe they didn't intend to have those 3 orbs. Maybe they were. I mean, they saved them, so
yeah.
I don't think you can take a tech pause as a result of a misbuy. So hopefully we'll find out. Hopefully we'll find out soon what the issue is. But for now, a moment's respite for these guys. And a moment to sort of reflect on what we've seen so far from SG.PRO. It doesn't feel like they're going fast enough to get these rounds out.
Yeah, look, certainly, at least the couple of games I've watched from SG.PRO, they can change up their T-side default pacing a lot. Sometimes we see some really slow, methodical rounds. Other times they just rush the outer bomb side on A. But so far, it has been really passive. It really has not been quick at all. And you've got to think there needs to be an adjustment. They've won pistol, and they've won a secondary round. That's it that they've found on the T side so far. You even look at round 8, and you think, right, with no utility, it's got to be something quick.
Ops in for Kisei. Look at D-Ray straight out of opposition. He's going to evade that nade that was thrown into his angle. Try and find one of the CTs past the smoke. He has no idea where they're at specifically. He couldn't find those tracers, couldn't see the specific angle. But the aggression could work wonders here for the T-side camp. They held the body block. Hades knows he's close. Flashbang over. They're both blind. Primbo gets his kill. RU Fire responds, but Hades gets that trade frag. So the aggression works better for the CT side as they punish. And the whole round crumbles for SG.PRO.
That nade could not have been placed any better. It body blocks him and does a lot of damage. So straight away they go, right, well, there's someone at 5-6, there's someone at Sandwich. Stentor. Oh my goodness, what a round from Big Academy. Only 1 player goes down on that CT side. Okay, well, we were wondering about what kind of SG.PRO was going to come to the server. And it certainly seems as if for the individuals, a lack of individual performances. Kisei, both him and I would say Fame are the 2 biggest fraggers for this lineup. He's currently 0 and 8, and he's had the AWP, I would say, 3 or 4 times so far in this first half.
It's an AWP that has worked wonders for them so far. I mean, it hasn't had the most amount of impact. It hasn't been the highlight player of the Academy side, but ooh, hold that thought. SG.PRO have just found 2 big frags, 2 deagle shots on Hades and Process from Fame and RU Fire respectively. A 5-on-3 in this eco could be more impactful than you might think, as it's the AWP that gets caught off guard this time. Limited viewing angle looking towards T-Con, couldn't check the top of Blue Train, and a 5-on-2 situation. How do you fight back from this big?
Oh, it's going to be tough. It really is. They have been able to pick up a couple of rifles on this T side. Anyone's trying to do the best that he can, but at this point, maybe even just trying to save onto this AWP is the best bet. What a round coming out from SG.PRO. That was just individual duels. That's all it came down to. We saw the Deagles hitting some nut shots, getting some crazy headshots. And from there, Big Academy, well, they just fell apart on the A-bomb side.
Very awkward angles taken by SG.PRO to isolate those picks. And again, the Scorpion Sniper's not looking the right ways at the right time. And they've been investing into that double op setup round after round here, Big. It's going to leave them with a very broken buy. SMG for Process, a scout out for Panics. An aggression from SG.PRO that didn't work well for them last round. Here it's a broken buy though. It could be much better. NINEtoFIVE only gets 1 pick for it. D-Ray runs out to get Process on the SMG. Scout left with a 4 versus 3. Needs to find a pick, and indeed he does. Fame dropping to the E-box, and Anaman is placed behind the smoke to try and hold off. Panic's burning the 29, and the M4 lines up 2. Takes out 1. Dropping that bomb. Gets a second face on Kisei. And despite the broken investment from Big Academy, they're going to come out on top. D-Ray in a 1 versus 3. The bomb out in the open. He's got to isolate every 1v1 from here.
Oh, he's got so much work to do. Trying to read the play. Didn't spot it out. Does take down the scout, at least for Panics. He can actually try and rotate B. But the thing is, Jay, the bomb is trapped in the middle of the side. So for Dire, he can't go to B because he's got to pick up the bomb.
That's been the main issue. And if he had that bomb, then he'd have an easy line into a bomb plant, potentially forcing the retake and the 1 versus 2 against the CT forces. A big response from Big. Needed that to maintain control of their economy state. Of course, save weapons for the T-side cam with a reinvestment off an eco. Looks solid for them, but 35 seconds, and he's still playing around the bomb site here. Does he know there's a player in heaven? I don't think he does. He's going to get shot in the back if he doesn't check this angle. It all comes up to time against Crimbo. He's going to sneak so far as Ivy, actually. Crimbo with a face. He sees his man. He takes him down. There you go. 7 ball rounds on the board now for Big. And a huge, huge one to find. But I imagine SG.pro are going for a force investment.
And honestly, even though they lost that round, Jay, I was actually the most pleased in that gun round out of pretty much all of the ones so far from SG.pro. It was fast, it was in their face. They were able to get a 4-3, so they did really great work in finding an opening advantage and holding on to it. But it was that mid-round, it seemed like it was a little bit lost of where the positions were being taken, where sort of the crossfires were being set. A force buy coming into round 11, end up getting a pretty good buyout. They're working with just a single Galil, AKs, and a Krieg. Don't really see the Krieg coming out too often anymore, Jay.
It still has this little place. Some teams like to take
Sometimes,
it.
yeah.
Definitely not as overpowered as it was before, but only scoped weapon here for SG.pro. Couldn't afford the AWP, so why not see if Kisei can do something with it. D-Ray and RU5 getting caught up in Pop though. Got SMG's close, and he does find 1 kill on Fame. Senator and D-Ray trying back. Process keeps it at a 3-on-3. Bursting on from Anowin over at Old Hell. Couldn't get the headshot on Kisei, so now Crimbo and Process falls in a very awkward position. Challenge from Heaven gets the play on top of Blue. A 2-on-2 once again. The CT is managing to maintain the man advantage, but they've left the B bomb site, and the T's know this now. They've got info on both men. We'll just push the bomb into B, get a bomb plant and a retake.
And they can get aggressive if they want to try and go for it. Unless they want to try and slow it down and actually force some peaks. The bomb's not even getting planted yet, and already we're starting to see some movement out from Connector.
Bomb dropped over, smoke in. You mentioned the Connector presence, not seeing the player upper though. The M4 gets its shot. Good transfer over from Crimbo. And the bomb is stalled for a moment. Nade on D-Ray's position. If they had another HE, he could take him down. A 1-on-2 situation, and they don't actually have info on this player. They think he might have rotated back to A. They're going to leave it. Potentially go for a plant here. They should know now it's going to be a B take.
Yeah, they certainly will. They just need to make sure they're working together. Don't offer up any individual duels for D-Ray to be able to try and clutch this out. And well, straight away, it's a 1-on-1 duel, and it's now down up to Process. He knows where he is, but D-Ray, he's got a flash, and he's in a really awkward off angle.
Backed into a corner, Process, all coming up to timing. The headshot can be secured easier for the AK. Facing in, he gets his spray. 3K to his name. And it was all off the back of the 1v1 duels that they just waited for them to push in together.
Yeah.
They could have found a trade angle, but no. 4 to the board of SG.pro, and another round that probably could put the economy on very shaky ground here for the CT camp.
I think that's just a bit greedy coming out there from Crimbo. I certainly don't think that fight was necessary at all. He needed to wait for his teammate to rotate in and take the bomb site together. And now you look at the buy and you think, right, it's completely rest. They're going to have to force. That 1v2 could be start to come into their own map now.
Outshot from Panics. Does damage, does not get the kill for it though. Fame on 29 points of health. Which is a decent start here. The CZ set from Anowin could potentially take this player down if he goes first, and he is played at the server. Kisei spotted, that's more damage. CZ gets 1, not quite 2, but Panics keeps the 2-for-1 trades going the way of the CT camp. Got a player out from Olaf. Hades flashed, his foot's been spotted. And he actually wins the fight against the AK. He ducks down underneath the spray, and the bullets go so far above his head they don't connect. 4-on-2, and Big Academy may pull this off.
Oh my goodness, Senator, you can't be missing duels like that. 2-on-4. This is, again, a really awkward round for SG.pro. Now, they do have the bomb. It's not dropped anywhere into the side. He say the deagle behind him, and this round's done. This is absolutely finished. I can't believe that. Senator, that was probably one of the easiest duels he's had to fight so far today, and missing that out. What an opportunity coming forward for the CT side. They've picked up 3 AKs, Jay. Oh my goodness. And they've reset the money of the T's. It is.
You can imagine this is the chance for the economy to really build for Big Academy from here on out, you know, with the firepower going their way, any head Kevlar that they buy, which won't come out from SG.pro at this moment. Just the basics coming through for another rifle in the next round. Obviously, round 14 at that point, like Big Academy should be set up pretty decently for a buy-up in round 15. Stack in, rush out to the deep bomb site. It's worked well over the last week. They tried for it. Crimbo and Panic Saber have the crossfire set. They do take one player down, but this USP is ready to shut him down with backup also rotating out position, and AK has been picked up. Good headshot. The AK should get recovered, and it's a clean-up round for the CT side.
And 9 rounds up now for Big Academy, and you've got to think they'll be looking at 10 plus. They'll be looking at 10 or 11 rounds. Well, 11's going to be the maximum, but if they can get to 10, they'll be really happy with that CT-sided performance. SG.pro need to see a response. Maybe go back to the aggression out towards the A-bomb zone. Even if you just try and sell some sort of a fake, we haven't really seen any fake tactics coming out from SG.pro. It's been a lot of easy reads on the commitment.
Scopes up, Molotov's in. Look at the damage done to Senator and Kisei. 4 Panics was going to go for the wallbang shot. If he did that just for luck's sake, he would have taken Senator down easy, and A is going to come out a little bit too late. So they do evade the first casualty, but just the flashbangs aiding in that situation. I don't know if Senator or Kisei even knew that they were burning alive.
Yeah, look, it was the tower looked really awkward there, in the sense as soon as that utility came in, they just sort of stayed around for quite some time. Going back over to the B bomb site once again. Now, Process, when we've seen a Big Academy retaking B, they've never really gone for a pop dog play. It's always been coming out from the back lines or con. So this is an opportunity for Process to start getting aggressive as soon as info's seen.
AK gets its first Kisei response. He's seen 2, another backstab setup. Anowin's going to wait for as long as he feasibly can. Let his backup come to him. Got a player out connected to the backlines. AWP spotted. Process comes up with 1 frag. Anowin with another, and Panics with the AWP chimes in at long range. D-Ray last man standing. What a hold from Big Academy. And it is a CT side, but this deficit is going to start really pressuring SG.pro to get a victory on the board on their map pick.
And I've got to be honest, I certainly think the tactical depth is just not here on Train. We're really not seeing it with no fakes, no baiting out rotations. Even on the B side plays, we've never seen like a late lurk out from Ivy to cut off any of the A rotators, or it just seems like at the moment the T side is either let's commit A or let's commit B. There's no sort of high depth tactics at the moment, and it's really showing. That's why the Big Academy are finding so much success. 10 to 4 up. The angle. No angle. Oh my! This just adds to the point.
That was just a pixel to give up the ghost for that frag. Process didn't even know about it. That's how like little of a breathing room it was. Now he's going to play distraction to allow Hades to get his involvement in. Senator and D-Ray do chime back on those players though. They're both low. 3-on-3, which is very winnable for the CT camp. They've got 2 AWPs in play though, and 1 AWP is seen. The gap on the train. So Crimbo falls back. Kisei takes a challenge, loses that fight, drops that bomb out of all hell, with Crimbo getting a shot on D-Ray. Senator left alone. Crimbo doubles up. And that is an 11-4, half a Big Academy. What a hold. And I mean, we talk a lot about Train and how it's not exactly a fantastic map for Big. I think we may have vastly underestimated that statistic.
Oh, you say that right. And they've won it, what, 1 out of the 4 times that they've played it, where they got a 16-11 result over Hellraisers. But their losses, they put up 3 rounds against AGF, 6 rounds against Aves, 7 rounds against Zarko Boars. And now we're seeing them go up 11-4 on the CT side. It's been a phenomenal first half from them, but they need to carry this momentum going forward. They need to continue putting the pressure on the back of their opposition. And for SG.pro, you've got to think if they lose Pistol, it can be a world of pain from there.
If they do, it's done, I think. Big Academy with a double flash and smoke for Anowin, defuse and smoke on D-Ray. That is the extent of the utility setup. No upgrade pistols for anyone. It's P2Ks, USBs, and Glocks. Set defaults coming in. Players out towards Ivy and over at the Brown Hall's aggression. Very carefully and quietly played from Big Academy. The bomb hasn't committed to a site just yet.
Yeah, taking their time, seeing if they can spot out any kind of information, any overextension from the CT side. Potentially Anowin might be able to sell a bit of a B fake here if he just puts a smoke down towards a connector and puts a couple of flashes in and allows the split into the A bomb site. That's what they're going to do. I like this.
Smoke, double flash. Drawing attention away. That is one player to rotate, not a second. They're going to come right back in as they see them coming out of T-Con. Acting a little bit too early for Big Academy, and they lose that first and second pick. Third frag from Kisei, not quite found. Look at the aggression from Snitch. You can find two out of Pop Dog and Evox for Hades. The process flying back in. 3-on-3, pressure coming into the bomb site. Hades looking for another good frag. USP's running out of ammo, and players at low HP peeking out aggressive from Old Hell. Kisei head taking off. Are you fire? Left as the contact player as Diary falls. And it's a 1 versus 3, 4 and 5 HP, no chance to Hell. Big Academy with a big pistol.
How? Like, how does that come back? You've got to think for SG.PRO, you got to give them credit for not rotating. One player was rotating to B and then thought, hang on a minute, this actually might be a fake. I'm going to go back. They were able to secure a opening 2 kills in a 5-on-3, and from there, it almost just seemed like they kept fighting. They could have just fallen back, played the numbers game, but instead, they kept fighting and kept taking unnecessary duels, and Big Academy, well, they're able to bring that back. What an incredible pistol round from them.
Unbelievable. Khalil's out, looking on for the first frag. At least damage has been done, and the first pick goes the way of the CT camp. Follow up with a good second frag on Senator, and suddenly, they might want to reconsider their options here. They are taking damage left, right, and center. Anowin and Process on 17 and 37. They have bought a 3 versus 3 at least, but with the buyout from SG.PRO, that does look concerning a bit for Big.
They've slowed it right down. They're starting to play a little bit of mind games at the moment, that maybe they've gone back to the B bomb site up through Pop Dog. And Are You Fire? He's going to get challenged with 2 players in Pop Dog if he overextends.
SMG, however, could find them both. They are relatively low, especially in the case of Process. Panics does deal with him before he can get anything done, and that's no info spotted as well on the T-side camp. Man Advantage going back the way of Big Academy. Deagle out of E-Box, still checking for angle, still checking for presence, but they just can't do anything about this. Process backing up. So is D-Ray on the B bomb site. Wherever Big Academy decide to go here is where they'll probably take control of.
And then they've got to use their utility well, make sure that they're not giving any sight lines up to this scout, because especially with how low a couple of players are, a single shot can be an instant kill, and they're just dropping down. They're not using any utility straight away into the B bomb side. They do get a smoke to cross out at least to the default position.
But the HP is so low that SG.PRO could well make the retake happen. Process edge of said smoke. Trying to look for an angle in. Deagles are moving up. Alowin's also playing in the midst of the cover on the bomb site. Dealt with a quick wall bang headshot. 2-on-2. Smokes up, flashes over. The Molotov's going to be completely ineffective. They've got to get back to the bomb plant position. It's on default here. Opened out. Process making his way in. Fade's going to see him. And now it's the defuse as D-Ray gets the headshot. And SG.PRO make it happen. They should have smoked Connector. They should have smoked Connector, because that first shot that he tagged up from the scout is what cost Panics & Co. their lives.
That's poor play coming out from Big Academy. They had 2 smokes and a Molotov and a couple of flashes. Make sure you're using them. Put that smoke out towards Connector. Get a safe entrance into that bomb site, because you've got to think, if that scout wasn't able to find yet another tag that would have been a player on, high HP and 2 on low HP, where from there they get the bomb down, all 3 players are incredibly low. Big Academy taking a tactical pause, saying, right boys, we can't let that happen. That was unacceptable.
Rightfully so. For SG.PRO, however, this is the comeback, or at least the start of the comeback. A tough comeback, but I've seen it done before. Seen 15-4 comebacks before. I mean, I know that you've casted a 14-1 comeback at one point, so you know. Definitely, it can happen. It's not entirely impossible, but obviously for SG.PRO, they need its momentum to swing all the way in, and Big Academy are going to try to shut it down with the rifles. No force by coming in. That bomb plant bonus going to enable a buy. With smoke and 2 flashes spread between Hades, Anowin, and Crimbo, there could be a chance to potentially go for the execution here, and if we just get a bomb plant at this stage, if they get that much, their buy is going to be bolstered for round 19.
It's all about the comeback train at the moment for SG.PRO. And the Glock's probably just going to try and waterfall out to that B bomb site. If they can just get another plant, then they're adding to their own economy. A single smoke and a couple of flashbangs, and they're rotating a second player over to B. This could be a really strong defensive hold from the City side. They're bringing a 3rd player over.
Oh, that is destination. See you later, boys. Bomb dropped and everything. I mean, well, The timing couldn't be worse. Flashbang in, didn't catch any of the CT's blind. Just put an incendiary up and just everybody died. Yeah, Anowin can't do much from here. He has to go down to get the money bonus. There's no sense in saving anything. He's got a Glock and that's it. But I'm hoping to take a player with him. If he can get a rifle away from the CT hands, and that could be a bit of a bonus pickup.
Could be something, yeah. That's really unfortunate, actually, that incendiary comes down at the perfect time. They've got 3 players that are just spamming the ramp entrance. And everyone goes down. Anowin is just seeing if he can find anything with this Glock. If he had a deagle, then he may have had a little bit of an easier time to find some sort of kill, some sort of damage, but you're absolutely right. He needs to make sure that he's going down before the time up, because that would make things really awkward. But in the end, SG.pro going to be able to secure the deal. A 6th round on the board for them. They've got to be looking at a round-by-round basis. They need to get Kisei more involved in the action. There's certainly a couple of players at the moment, maybe Senator, RU-Fire, that are struggling in terms of the kills. Kisei in particular, who's, again, one of the biggest fraggers for this SG.pro side. They need to build up some self-confidence, and they need to be able to get them fired up.
SG.pro set with a great rifle setup. Look at the fast play out from Anowin. Process tanking nades and Senator taking a headshot. Blind through smoke. Man goes down. 5 on 4. The Process will still try and swing in and get some damage for. He's tagged up very heavily. Still gets to the bomb site. Takes the player down but couldn't transfer to Kisei. If he got that two-man spray up, the transfer over, he could have found quite a lot out of this.
What?
Look at Panics. Look at Panics. Hades will drop that bomb though. And they snuck their way back out. If those 2 players crossed out to the B bomb site, this would be a free and open bomb plant. But the fact that bomb's dropped, a 4-on-2 retake, Crimbo taking damage and information being given up. He's got to stay passive in this position. He's got to let Panic set up the backstab because he's the best player in this server at the moment.
Oh, you could see what they were trying to go for there, Big Academy, bringing that bomb into the B bomb site. Panics has not been seen. Oh, the turnaround comes through from RU Fire. And yeah, this round's done now. Crimbo, not much he can do. What a round from SG.pro. That was just on the edge of the smoke. You could almost see there was just a little bit of a gap to try and see if you could get that bomb in.
And now this comeback looks serious.
It does.
Before you can meme about it there with 11-4, 12-4, just like, look, it's difficult, but, you know, now that we've seen the rounds and the qualitative performance from the CT side, this is possible. This is very possible for SG.pro. Within 5 of the lead, going to be 4 at the end of this round here. I mean, there's no chance that the nade stack will take out many players. I mean, any players at the end of the day. It's just tag damage done early on. Panics does find a good kill on Senator, which is a cause to be concerned of. 5-on-4 turned to 4-on-4 as Kisei finds the trade at Process over at Sandwich, so the CTs maintain control.
Unfortunately, there's no one with armor on this T side, so they can't sort of throw that Galil around to a Pacific player. They're going to chuck it onto Crembo for the moment. Good opening kill coming out from Panics with the Glock. At least trying to do some damage to the CT economy, because it's starting to build at the moment. Got a couple of players around that sort of 5k, 6k mark, even Senator at 7. Really starting to build up now, and T-Con presence coming out, and this should be shut down.
Hades coming up with a good kill, but that may be the best that they find at this stage. If they get another good frag, that's damage done, and that could be positive, but RU Fire deals with Crimbo, Kisei takes on Hades, and wins this fight all the same, so 3 alive. AK's in on all of them as well for the CT camp, and the money's pretty decently built here. 2 players on 10k pre-buy. But now the AWP comes in from Big Academy. Time to stop messing around. I imagine double AWPs will come through for the CTs, considering how much money they've got. And indeed, yeah. Kisei and Senator up on the big green guns. Kisei's been a bit quiet over the course of this map, so let's see whether the AWP will enable him to do some damage.
It's good to see the double AWPs coming out from SG.pro. A bit of a confidence play to bring out the 2 big green guns. Look at the aggression coming out from Kisei. He wants to try and take a fight almost immediately out to T-Con. He won't see any presence, so could potentially fall back and maybe play an E-box line or towards back green, or where Senator's playing at the moment. Don't see players on top of these boxes all too often. He would have got boosted up by a teammate there.
Looking on towards the T-Con position as Crimbo creeps up slowly. If he checks that angle, he will find quite a lot out of this. I mean, the AWP is there to protect Ivy. He scopes in, Panics is ready for it. That's a big kill to find as well. The drop off the boxes, information would have been gained regardless by the T-side camp. They lose one of their AWPs, so second one at Kisei left positioned out to the aggressive face over at the E-box. Two players stacked up, ready to drop in over at Pop Dog. Anowin and Hades, what can they get out of this? Oh, they both go down! That transfer, the immediate bullet after the first kill comes in, gets the hair on the second, and SG.PRO just regain control.
Oh my goodness, that was ridiculous coming out from Fame, and that might be the answer back into this round. Crimbo's been able to turn it back into a 3-on-3, but Kisei, again, he's going to be able to at least try and back up Fame and process. Oh my goodness, that hold! The hold in Pop Dog was ridiculous!
That is something that I don't think we're going to see for a while to come.
Oh my god.
It's not the spray transfer, it's the fact that the next bullet connected straight to the head.
Yeah.
Like, if it was damage done, fair play, good play, but watch this again. This is like a 1 in 1,000 chance right here. In the way that that very bullet, like, it's such a quick kill, man.
Yeah.
And it's the kind of thing that brought the round back for the CT side. Otherwise, I think they would have lost it.
Probably right. It was a bit of a weird stance that no one was actually watching towards Ivy, but I tell you what, now the confidence is coming out from SG.PRO. Straight away, the AWP kills. Oh, coming out. And this round, it's over. It's done. It is absolutely finished as D-Ray is able to find a couple. Oh, man. They've got to 10 rounds so quickly now.
That is a fantastic follow-up as well. 1 casualty, AK's maintained by the majority of the players. And D-Ray here with a fantastic triple, and it was anti-eco, but getting those kind of frags on the board with a 2K on Europa, that is just, you know, a confidence play that turns things well and truly to your favor in the momentum basis. The AWP's back in with the AKs on the T side. They're going to go fast out towards the A pop side. This is risky, and the flashbangs to counter it. In fact, it's Kisei there to support Fame, get Hades to fall. A 5-on-4 situation once again, already starting things off favor of SG.PRO.
Oh, Fame again. He's doing so much work on this CT side. The AK master at the moment. Big Academy. Just trying to see if they can get some individual kills already. So much information being seen. Long spray doesn't even take down Kisei. Hang on.
2 picks come back for Panics and Process though. The awkward sprays did indicate a lack of confidence from the T-side camp. Good flash in the AWP's not going to go falling, but Panics will take 1 down. So Heaven cleared, spray back from D-Ray falls down. Anowin and Fame is the last man left over at Pop Dog. 1-on-3 situation. And it was a scrappy round, but SG.PRO blinking for only a moment. The perfect timing from Big Academy. And now suddenly it looks like it will be a 13th round.
Oh, Fame again. It starts things off fantastically, but Big Academy somehow bring a huge disadvantage back in their favor. They got some really nice picks. The utility usage was fantastic. Flashbangs catching off so many players blind. Okay. Just maybe Big Academy can keep hold of this lead, because you've got to think, even though they're 13 rounds up, we've seen so much momentum in this second half from SG.PRO.
A reinvestment, of course, with the amount of money coming in for the CT camp means that they can get a double AWPs out once again. It can't lead to a dead end, though. This is where the economy is really going to start getting hurt out. Run boost for Panic, sees the man as he crosses, and Sinotaur's not having anything to do with that. Smoke out, evades the AWP shot, gets to safety. Nades on Process, meanwhile, over at the T-Con area. Again, going to get a man advantage. Boost up from Pop Dog, going to contest the tops of the trains, but can't see any players with the smoke in the way.
And we've seen the single or double nade stack in a T-Con from that CT side pretty much every single round in this second half, and it's consistently been doing damage. Big Academy split out very far over the map. Now, this was something that SG.PRO didn't do a lot on their T side. They were very bunched together, very grouped up. They can try and go for a 3-prong attack and try and split this A bomb site.
Oh, lack of process at T-Con. They need to get Pop Dog control first and foremost. That M4 needs to go down. They can get Fame, they can get the round, I feel. Kisei is going to be the next main concern, with the AWP set up for Sinotaur out from Ivy to trying to track from the main T-side force that will make their way up. Process first contact with the 29 HP AK. And Fame will catch Hades. That's a good start. Peek in. The opposite Sinotaur gets panicked. They do catch a headshot of a player not looking the right way. Old hell contested, but Trade still going the way of the CT side. 4-on-2. They have a bomb site, but the retake is where they're going to have to struggle.
It's going to be difficult to even try and get a bomb plant. Crimbo going to plant open for Pop Dog. Now the swing can come out, but the CT is quite happy to play the passive game. The swing from Fame at just 22 points of health. Pro's the last one left. He's already been heard towards Old Bomb. Dire knows he's around this smoke. He's got to know he's here somewhere. He certainly heard the footsteps.
He does take him down in the end. Yeah. Okay, so
alrighty.
That's... It definitely felt like he may have... I don't know if the footstep was particularly heard by the man. I don't know if he may have thought it was a teammate or something, but it didn't look like he was completely aware of where his position was. Either way, he does find that kill as the smoke fades. And SG.PRO back in it for a contest. There's still a buy coming in from Big Academy. That bomb plant bonus will just enable the AWP to come through with the AKs that can get dropped. Actually, it might look like either a force buy for Panics with an AWP or 2 AKs for Anowin and Panics, depending on what they particularly want to go for here. A tech pause, and I'm not going to be discussing this per se. A TeamSpeak issue at the moment, so hopefully we get that sorted out. It was SG.PRO the ones that called for this tech pause, so let's get that whole thing fixed up and we can get back into the matchup. Certainly, at this crucial moment, you don't want to have any tech issues.
Certainly not. Big Academy, you've got to think, right, you know, it's what we're seeing in both teams really struggling on T, really just not finding that success on the T side. And after winning Pistol, you know, we both thought, okay, things are looking really great, but as soon as they lost that anti-eco and it went the way of SG.PRO, they were able to get so much momentum forward. They keep buying these double orbs. It seems like Keystay's finally started to come alive. Fame in particular are doing a lot of work with the rifles in the mid-round. Very much down to the wire, something that I didn't quite expect in this first map.
I mean, it didn't look like this way from the outset, you know, like it was 11-4 half a Big Academy, let's not lie, you know, that's CT side. I mean, obviously we talk about Train being one of the most CT-sided maps in the entire pool, and, you know, you can see it right here, you know, this should have been wrapped up by Big, you know, off the back of that pistol, it should be at least 14-4, it should be like a 14-11 at the worst case scenario.
Yeah.
But here we are with a big chance for SG.PRO, and if they get this next round, then we're probably looking at an even dead set standing to complete the comeback and bring their map pick under their control, Dwayne. Now, I mean, I'm not going to lie, at the turn of the half, I had my doubts about whether or not that would be possible. I did say it was possible, but I said it would be unlikely at the same time. And, well, now, 2 rounds away from the lead, it's a very different complexion taken on by SG.PRO.
Yeah, look, it certainly is. They're playing with a lot of confidence at the moment. You can just sort of see the change in mindset that they're starting to believe that they can win this map. SG.PRO, straight away, even for Senators, getting a bit of information out towards T-Con, so they can start to aggress that secondary orb out towards E-Box, especially where Kisei's been playing it. Guys, what is that? Oh, we don't like to see that.
Well, Big might want to check their TeamSpeak in the next tech pause, because that was a breakdown in communication. They tried to put the smoke up to protect Crimbo in Pro's position, but Crimbo's going to burn alive at a 5-on-4, and now it's more mistakes coming up from Big Academy. We saw some awkward sprays in the last couple of rifles, but that may be the big highlight moment to say, listen, these guys have lost control of this. A 5-on-4 situation, Hades and Process are both tagged down as well. And if they hold control of this round, SG.PRO stand to gain a whole lot more than just a single round on their board. Molotov burning, Anowin and Panics make their way out. Anowin takes out D-Ray, good shot from Hades, does trade it back, so SG.PRO only a single man advantage. Process gets it back to a 3-on-3 situation. Molotov standing, Panics finds Kisei, here we go. Big Academy bursting into life, seeing another man, could not quite take the front, but Fame on top of the white train, gets Anowin back to 2-on-2, tapping that bomb, trying to bait in a Molotov, but there's no utility for the T side. Just jump faces, tapping it for a second time, Orb ready for the AK, gets his shot, AWP can't land, and they're going to stick it. Senator's got the angle locked, Panic's got peeking against both of them, he's out of time, the diffuser being stuck. And that will be a 12th here for SG.PRO.
He's so... If he was on 100 HP, then maybe he can try and jiggle peek and then wide swing onto the bomb diffuser. But Panics just has to try and play the game. He knows as soon as he peeks, he's dead. So he's got to make a decision. If I stay passive and they tap the bomb and don't stick it, I win the round. If they do stick it, I lose the round. It's a big risk, but unfortunately it doesn't work out. And And you've got to think, I'm even surprised that that round came so close, considering the advantages that SG.PRO had.
You got to think what the outcome could have been if Crimbo was allowed to stay alive.
Yeah, that's a good point as well.
If that breakdown and miscommunication had not cost Big that frag, then this could have been a very different story. But alas, Orbs in for Panic's going to try and re-aggress that bomb plant, getting another bonus buyback in for the T-side camp. Panic's opens things up with an Orb kill. Crimbo will fall back. Fame 35 HP at stopper. Smoke's keeping him blind. He's trying to catch T-side presence. If he got the left of this Smoke, he could end up being a goner, but it's RU fire on the bomb site. Senator and Fame get picks back. AK sprays are awkward. Hades low. Panic's 100. 4-on-2 situation though. And the CP have full control in the back line. They deal with the last man on the bomb site, leaving Panic's alone to the box. With a clutch and a half to make happen, SG.PRO are going to hold another confident defensive. The bomb out in the open, everything. They're just wrapping in eventually to get this spray down, take the player out. And wow, what a comeback from SG.PRO. 13-all, we are even standing on the board.
This is getting ridiculous now. This is just an astonishing comeback. And the Big Academy, they've only been able to win 2 rounds on T-side, Jay. One was a rifle round, one was a pistol. What must be going through their heads at the moment? The pressure must just be so large at the moment. It must just be compounding round by round. Because they just can't seem to be doing anything at the moment. Even finding opening kills has been a struggle.
Senator focused in, trying to look for that first kill. Nothing at this moment. No opening frag, no opening damage. The AWP Senator connects that first frag as Crimbo tries his best to slow face, get some sort of map control or frag for the Big Academy side, but it's not enough in the tank. SG.PRO with a minute to go. The execution coming in from Big will try to smoke out positions, make the hit happen. Fame drops the next man up, 5-on-3. Not a single point of damage done to the CT count. They do find a frag in the end, but it's traded so quickly and efficiently. Or back from Panics to do the majority of the work here. Gets us to a 3-on-2. Rescope in on the bomb train, sees where the AWP is. Deagle tries to get close, see the man crossing out. There's another AWP also to the back lines. Gonna be challenged, but Panics can't land his shot. Process falls, bomb's been dropped, and from here the last man should fall pretty quickly.
Panic with the AWP, 1-on-2 now, and he could potentially try and get this bomb and at least get a bomb plant, because that's something they need to work with. The boost coming out towards connector, and they don't read it at all. Keystay with a nice shot. A 14th round for SG.PRO. Oh my goodness. This is the first time that they've had the lead, Jay, outside of the first round of the map.
Oh boy. Oh boy, how Big have fallen apart. And it was a closer scoreline that, in the end, it looks like it's going to go the way of the Russian squad. They're out and about here on the default positions. The T side set to the brown halls. Nades on Crimbo, 67 HP, already tagged up very early on here. And it is passive from Big, so they won't give up the fact that they have lost that HP, neither will they try and act upon the early damage. Plenty of time left as damage return of Fame is just going to come back on Process, Panics, and Anno in here.
Oh, they line up, but he only gets a single kill. Oh, but he's looking for more. Keystay wants a little bit more. He's going to be out again, and the opening secondary kill to come through. The trade comes up, but SG.PRO, I mean, even the confidence to make a play like that.
They are feeling it. They are straight feeling it right now. And Process has taken the bomb to take that face. Panic's there with the AWP will finally prompt out the shots from Fame. Shots out of their own right. Panics drops in. Process there with the bomb. Isolated by the CT cam. Going to get back up on his way here for Crimbo. But to work in from Popdog, they're just doing a terrible job of getting rid of Fame. And now RU Fire's had enough. He's gone impatient. He's going to catch them both. But the first man sees Process takes him down. But now known here to the CT cam. They know where the bomb is. They know where the last man's at. It will smoke down from ramp. Try and find a way into the B bomb site. We've got a player on that site, a player at Popdog. He's basically sandwiched in here. He's got to force the issue one way or another. D-Ray is the best bet here for the B-site control. 15 seconds, needs to make a move, needs to get a plant, needs to save himself some time in this round. Looking on, there comes a peek from Senator, there comes a headshot from Senator. There comes a map point for SG.PRO. From 11-4 down at the half to now 15-13 up and 1 round to go against what will be a broken buyer from Big Academy.
This is ridiculous. I can't believe that we have just not seen this T-side perform at all. And look, it certainly shows on the percentages and the stats lines that Big Academy struggle on the T-sided train, but not in this kind of a level. 2 rounds is all that has been found in this second half, and SG.PRO, well, they're 1 round away from being able to close this map out.
Look at the AWP. Oh, Senator boosted up, still gets his shot on process. Another frag going the way of the AWP, but out in the open panics, couldn't get a shot on stopper. RU-Fire will clean up 2, and that is a quick end to the map. 16-13 for SG.PRO. Domination on the CT side will take their map pick. It was unexpected, or it was expected at first, and turned to a comeback by the interim. Nuke is our second one, picked by Big Academy, so do not go anywhere. We'll see if SG.PRO can turn this good CT side to magic after the break. Well, SG.PRO pulling the comeback out against Big Academy in a pretty big fashion as well on their map pick of Train. And Big now have their map pick and nuke to try and make this happen. Now, obviously, we saw a very good CT side coming out from the German squad, but they weren't able to mount up to SG.PRO CT side, which can be a concern on nuke, which is another pretty CT-sided map. Although I wouldn't say it's probably as CT-sided as Train as of late. So, tell me your thoughts about this one, Dwayne. How do we see this one going down?
I think it's going to be exactly the same as Train. I think both teams are really going to struggle on T side. So for SG.PRO's sake, after winning the knife round, they can at least try and put the hurt and the pressure on in the early game. If they can maybe put up 9-10 rounds on CT. But yeah, again, certainly just from seeing what we saw from both sides, it seems like they just struggle a lot on T side when it comes to tactical maps like a Train and a nuke.
Well, it is curious to see that coming out from Big, who of course have had some stellar T-sides over the course of their recent matches. So I wonder if that will come to effect here over on Nuke. As they will start things off over on T side. Sorry, not double flash. Single smoke flash for Anoin, dropping a P250 off to process on the raid boss here, SG.PRO. No defuse kit set for them. A HE from RU Fire, a CZ drop for Kisei. He plays primary defensive here. They're going to go outside on the initial default here for the pistol round. And past that smoke, NINEtoFIVE will fall back in towards main. RU5 controlling up from heaven. Quickly dealt with by Process as that first headshot comes in. The man advantage for Big Academy.
So far, so good. I'm trying to split into this A bomb site. Already getting a couple of players to wrap around from the heaven position. They're starting to take ramp control. So this actually is going to be a fake A tactic and trying to hit the lower bomb site.
Taps up, D-Ray drops that bomb, at least stalls for time for his CT compadres. They'll know where the play is, but they aren't quite ready for the hell that round. Aaron's going to hear players downstairs. The NINEtoFIVE jumps around the corner. Kisei gets a kill as well. A 3-on-2 situation as Hades tries to make his way down and rejoin Panic's on the bomb site itself. Panic's actually is not even on the bomb site. He's over at A, setting up his own flank, and NINEtoFIVE is ready to shut him down. That's bomb control for the CT side. And SG.PRO losing control initially, do fire back a 1-on-3 situation for Panics. And this should be an easily won round here for the CT camp.
They're just overthinking things, Big Academy, just wasting way too much time there. And Panix is going to see if he can clutch it out, but he doesn't know that Fame's right behind him. The swing coming out, an easy round up for SG.PRO. Like, Big Academy did a really nice job there. They were able to get the outside presence, they find the opening kill. They could have just split into the A bomb site, would have been no problem with there, but instead they decided to go over to the ramp control and try and head towards a lower bomb site, and rather than just committing to lower, they wait in ramp and they just get rushed from lobby. SG.PRO, all they needed to do was offer up a bit of an aggression, and Big Academy, well, they were just waiting around too long, twiddling their thumbs.
Big stuff coming through. Nades up, smokes, Molotovs, all the same sort of utility basis for Big Academy, and SG.PRO set to do initial damage in the SMG plays. Majority SMG players here. They're going to sneak right past the first player, D-Ray, onto the A bomb site, which only had one defender directly on it. Two from heaven going to try and counter out with the backstab as well, but they're falling to pieces. And this is more like a T-side from Big Academy that we wanted to see. A 5-on-2 situation with pistols alone. Both CTs held out towards CT spawn. This has got to be a safe call.
Well, that was another awkward round, this time around for SG.PRO. That looked very uncomfortable. It almost seemed like they weren't really entirely sure what the protocol was if they just go for an upper take. We saw an MP9 trying to lurk around the squeaky smoke, the only defender at that upper bomb site trying to set themselves up for a retake, but then the utility's not there. And Big Academy, well, they just rushed the upper bomb site and the kills just come instantly.
Dealt with easy as that. And the AEG of Flame trying to stay alive, sprays through from the SMGs, getting bonus money and bonus rifles. What a round from Big. As you mentioned, they did everything right in that one. Just weren't able to finish off the job, so there it is, even standing on the board. AK SMGs in. Of course, the MAC 10s for Hades, I imagine Panic's all supplied to an SMG. No, an AK dropped to the man, that's fine. As much investment as you can here for the C-side camp to turn around against the reinvestment of SG.PRO, knowing they don't want to get away so fast with that easy pistol victory. Damage done initially to Crimbo on the first phase. Kisei with that scout, just tagging him, no kills early on.
A little bit of damage. Outside control being taken from Big Academy. They'll need to use a few more smokes if they want to continue their presence outside to try and get into that secret position. footsteps coming through. Not silent about going to secret, so RU5 is going to be able to rotate down. They've actually got quite a few players towards this lower bomb site, Jay.
It'll work with this. Panics. AK set, SMG over. Straight through, damage being done. Fame gets a kill. Hades turns around to the 4 versus 4. Nade on. Not doing much damage here. See the defensive holding out on the bomb site. D-Ray actually gets a big Sinator, comes up with one of his own damage being done. He could get a 2K, and indeed he does. And well, force buy for force buy. We've seen this many times in the past. 1 versus 3 for Crimbo. And this could very well be another good round going the way of SG.PRO.
Here we go again. The force buy tactics from both sides winning out quite nicely. Crimbo's got so much work to do. And the bomb is dropped in the most awkward position possible. Right in the middle of that bomb site. And just trying to save onto the AK is probably his best bet, right? I mean, they're going to force the issue going into the next round. At least if you've got an AK, you've got something to work with.
Yeah, just that safe call being coming through for the man. Oh, just about finds that exit frag, although that was dangerous if he fell down.
Yeah, that would have been really bad.
Lost money after time. Like, that would not have been fun. Gaining the lead. SG.PRO. The rifle's coming out in full this time, again, not sparing any expense. The SMG didn't work well against the speed of Big Academy, and they still have rifles to work with. The force back coming through from the T side. We'll actually see 2 AKs come through, not just the single one that was saved. Another one, also the Scout, Khalil, and P250, so it's not the best of buys, but certainly could be worse here for the Ts.
And, well, this time it's the Scout for the T side that's able to find an opening tag shot. RU5 not expecting any outside play. And for Big Academy, it's kind of surprising that how much outside control we've seen from them without a lot of utility. It's been a lot of dry walks outside for this first half so far.
The M4 standing by. Good burst out from Process. Gets that kill on RU Fire. Nero around the corner. Gets a kill back on Halloween, but Hades trades it. Fame turns on with the SMG and Sinister maintains control of 2 versus 2. Fame doubles up with another good frag. AKs on both players left. Bomb being dropped in the open. And Hades got to isolate both these players. Has got an angle into the B bomb site, actually. He's going to go downstairs and get a free bomb plant.
Oh, he's going to fake it. He's going to see if he can force the rotates coming out, but even for Fame, he's not that quick to the trigger. He's not quick to rotating through. So this should be a free bomb plan coming out from Big Academy. Hades in the 1-on-2. Now he does have a molly to work with.
A smart call, knowing decon door was closed, so wait for that information before giving up your life. Spray through, Hades gets one, transfers back to the double doors, but Sinator ends up with a 2K. And a good effort there, but not to be. The bomb plant secured, so bonus money. I think with the force by nature, it probably will not end up being a force back from the T camp. About $3,600 at best for Hades. Everybody around about that less than 3K float. So yeah, maybe a half buy at best from the T side.
I mean, they still can force, because look at the buy coming out from SG.PRO. It's actually really awful because so many players went down. It turned into a 1 versus 1, but they're going to go with a bit more of a safer approach. Just go for the half buy. And SG.PRO, I was really glad that they're able to hold on to that round rather than kind of losing another force. Outside Fame, he's heard everything. He knows all of these footsteps, at least calling out 2 or 3 players. And a bit of a gap on that right side. Oh. You can't be making mistakes like that.
Yeah, that basically threw the round away there for Big Academy. Just way too much information being given to SG.PRO. And hey, at least it's consistent with the first lap. CT side's going particularly well. The Eco is unable to do much damage. Fame ends up with 4 frags all in all. But now Big are going to focus on the rifles here. So, you know, it would be a bit more of a tragic mistake if they had, led up to the rifle round there. But the fact that it was just pistols doesn't matter too much for them. They can go down pretty easily and now look towards the main AKs. But if they make the same mistakes here in this round, then that's when we've got trouble.
And they'll just need to be making sure that outside that they're getting their smokes down right. You can't be having any kind of a gap in any utility outside because you'll just get punished for it. And Big Academy, this time around going for outside smokes, but it doesn't look like they really want to commit everyone there. There's only a couple of players outside.
3-round lead right now for SG.PRO, with still with SMGs on 2 players. Probably value weapons at this stage, but look at Keisei. Look how aggressive he wants to get. He's got nothing to lose. RU5 will force 2 players to get. He doesn't get the first man. Incendiary might stall for time and try to force him back. Refaces and gets Process. Who expects that on the Molotov position? Unexpected way out. Fame and Demo will deal with him and Anno in. Crimbo chimes in towards outside, but his teammates inside the site have fallen. So 1 versus 3. He's out of the round. This is a 5th for SG.PRO.
And this is what I talk about of like questionable decisions. For most teams and most players, you wouldn't repeat that. But Keisei, he's different. He's a completely different kettle of fish. Of course he's going to repeat that. Big Academy. Ooh, Crimbo actually lets him pass. This could... No one's going to expect him to come heaven now. Oh, okay.
Get a frag. Gotta get that second kill isolated. He's got 1v1s that he could take. Molotov's in, checking rafters, fake flashing, but no one's going to fall for it. Trying to isolate their headshot on the player back over at Squeaky. The player on the bomb site as well at the open, 25 seconds. He's been spotted, the timing's awful. And the Senator will get the final frag, a 5th to the board of the CT cap. And that is the rifles falling all the same. And I mean, I don't even think you could say they made mistakes on that one. The mistakes were forced by the SMG. Like, who expects him to peek into a Molotov?
Yeah, you don't. You really don't. And, well, maybe if SG.PRO can win out this series and go to the playoffs, then Senator can get a new haircut. Because, mate, that needs some sorting out, that does.
Senator
for it.
Opening that frag, easy as this. Fast play up in the T side, they're just going to get decimated. Panics. 17 HP. Hades at circle on Senator. Alright, that's one good AWP pick. But Fame there to chime back into the man. Teagle. Oh, Crimbo. Okay. The bomb has been dropped, but there's a way back into this round. Deagle headshots coming through. P250 backed up into the A bomb site. They don't know he's here. And the AK of the city side makes its way around. M4 of Fame still downstairs, all coming up to this face here. If Crimbo reads this, adjusts right against RU5, it could be a way in. Fame's going to fall. RU5 has been seen. They can get the bomb down on the bomb site, and he's going to make his way in from vent or ramp here. If he goes ramp, I should say, he's going to be a dead man.
Oh my goodness, those shots from Crimbo were absolutely insane. RU5 is not going to come in from ramp. He's actually going to go in for the vent and potentially come out through single door.
Double door seems to be his actual play. He's going to go through the vents, take a bit more time. It is closed though, so he's got to open up the door or go for observation, which I think the windows are also sealed. And yeah, they are. Either way, information's got to be given away. He's made the wrong call. I mean, they're going to have that position on lock anyway. Taps it up, looks on. AWP focus, missing its shot actually. Damage done, forces the face, forces the kill, and it's all left to Crimbo for his 3K. Incendiary on the bomb. That's smart. That seals the round there. RU5 got to jump through the flames, get a 4-5-second defuse. He'll get his kill. He doesn't have time for this though. He's got to run, save an AWP, save a round. The second goes on the board for Big. And that was all off the back of Crimbo there.
Yeah, those shots from ramp were just absolutely dirty. Really nice shots coming out. And for Big Academy, they rely on an individual. Let's have a look at this again. Oh, lovely. Absolutely lovely. And that might just be the round they need, Jay. The round to kind of go, right, okay, this is an opportunity now. We've got enough money. We've got AWP on the back of Panics that was saved in. Let's just see if we can continue this going forward.
The buy-up from SG.PRO does not seem to show the money here. I mean, obviously, they've got such little. They have to go with the Deagle and SMG on Senator and Fame. This could hurt. RU5 is placed perfectly for it.
Yeah,
this is going to hurt. He backs off. He goes back in. The timing's perfect. See you later, mate. That is an opening for Big Academy. Will they execute off the back of it? No, they're going to continue the slow defaults and look for a second kill.
Oh, that's incredible. Really nice triple nade stack out towards that hub position, finding an instant kill. But they're going to try and take the fight outside. They are going completely dry. No smokes, but Crimbo again, he is showing up on this T side.
Meanwhile, Kisei gets an AWP pick on Panic, set to the left-hand side of that cross. Over towards Gary, is the Deagle covering him as he crosses back, looks for the AWP pick. Finds his man, but as Senator goes down, Kisei's going to be the last man left for an ace clutch in a 1-on-3. Not going to happen. Process will close it down at the right moment, and that will be a third on the board for Big Academy. And since that eco, they have looked like they are on fire here.
Great timing. I was really worried that RU5 was going to move away and it was going to find absolutely nothing, but the timing could not have been any better. There's actually only 2 nades. The third one wasn't even needed, Jay. He was already dead before the third one came through. How nice is that?
Fast play from Big, much more aggressive than they have done so far. Good shot from the AWP. Connects the tag, does not get the kill. Nade on Fame should take him down. Oh, 4 HP, just barely staying alive. And Nade actually landing on top of the roof. If it had gone past it, then that would have been a kill. But either way, they found their first. 2 players tagged up, so 2 more potential frags for the AKs to easily find. And I don't see any real way that SG.pro can contest here in this round.
No, not really at all. Considering the fact that they don't have any armor, they don't have any utility, it's just a couple of upgraded pistols. Big Academy, they showed a little bit of presence towards Secret, but it looks like now they want to get out of there and try to make their way into the A-bomb site out from main. And it's completely clear. It's completely in the open, and the kills, well, they just keep coming. Actually, was it TK coming out there? No. Okay, no, it wasn't.
Bomb has been planted.
AWP shot, not connected to the man over at Lockers. Second shot also not fragging, and the PT-50 does close it out. They do lose process in the interim. But that's 1 casualty sustained by the T side. Best is 4 that stay alive. Money will flow. Reinvestment should come through for process. They could drop him an AK. And the rifles start coming back for SG.pro. This is going to be a very hard buyback in, though. Look at the M4s. And look at the utility to support it here. Fame's got nothing. He will get eventually a HE and a smoke, but a single incendiary for Kisei. No single player has a full set of utility for themselves.
If I'm SG.pro, I'd like to see a bit of aggression coming out from them, because Big Academy are finding outside control relatively easy at the moment. It seems like there's just a lot of dry runs outside, not even using a lot of utility to get map control. And in a round that you don't have a lot of utility, it's going to have to be a lot of dry fights to come out from the Russians.
Smoke down the Big to advance towards the outside. Flashes over as the AKs look on. RU Fire backed up with the M4. It's Fame with an M4 of his own right out of Secret. On, hearing the footsteps. Aggression coming in for the CTs over at Squeak Door. RU Fire could find quite a lot out of this. They pick the bomb maker's way in towards the lobby area, then he can get the information.
Ramp
2 more coming in from Ramp as well. Kisei is going to win that fight. Big kill to open it up for SG.pro.
That's full lobby control, but Big Academy don't know that they've fallen back, so it's going to take them even longer to clear out this position. And RU Fire, he was backing off, but he goes, nah, I want to stay. And maybe
that will lead to his end. Yeah. So that's all reaggress though, and if they go through ramp, then they could find the frags here. He's going to hear the footsteps start peeking in. At turn 2 players to find. Transfers the spray drops. That bomb 4-on-2 situation. The CTs now in full control with lobby control. Not well established, but still there. Up in for Panics will grab that bomb, try to push in 20 seconds. Leroy's not watching hard. I don't know how they lost that bomb. He turns onto the player at upper rafters, but Crimbo left alone. Molotov in from Squeak Door, gets the kill on Fame. 10 seconds left though, 11 HP for the man, and being pressured in from the back. He's got to save his rifle. He has no choice.
What is with the comms there from SG.pro, man? Like, first of all, you've got D-Ray that's holding Heaven, where he's just completely exposed to Hut. And then there's a player towards back vent that's just looking at Heaven and not looking at Squeaky at all. I'm not sure what the communication was there from SG.pro. It looked awkward, but the aggression worked out fantastically. There was a pincer in from Ramp and from Squeaky. They were able to take lobby control. Yeah, maybe there were a few overextensions, but in the end, it's playing with confidence and it's playing with a lot of jewels.
looking contentious half at this stage here. I mean, Big have held it pretty close on T side, which is a positive sign for them on their map pick. Obviously, being a map down in this context means that they can still turn it to a third map. Flashes in Senator out of position. AK standing by at the corner. The Orpa Kisei trying to hold off and support his teammate from the held position. But he's just going to get driven away by utility once again. Facing from the T-side players. Two players get out there. Kisei just loses all sorts of control of the held position. Big Academy have pushed SG.pro the hell back.
It actually looked like the Big Academy side wanted to try and take held control, but with that incendiary coming back from the CT side, it forces them into that lobby presence and outside a ramp. Are you fire? He's got the swag 7 up close and personal. If he lands a buckshot straight away, this could be an easy opening kill. They look like they're all going to try and go out for a squeaky.
40 seconds. M4 standing on D-Ray. Tapped up on the back corner here over the ramp room. Crimmer's only going to get one frag. The swag 7 of RU5 chimes in. The AWP cloaks in for Kisei. He only gets that one frag. And they know the shotgun is close. He couldn't land a shot on Panics. But they're distracted here towards heaven. A second player peeks up. And suddenly Panics is left alone. 20 seconds blocked out against RU5. He gets that frag as well. But doesn't last much longer as Fame has an open line to the back of his head. 3K for him. And a 7th for SG.pro, but only just.
Oh, that was close. That was a really great reface coming out from Fame. We saw Panics realizing the fact, okay, there's a player around Hut. He might rotated to Squeaky. Let's just see if I can bring this bomb to the lower bomb site. Fame in particular, we spoke about him in the pre-game, had a bit of a quiet showing in the first half of Train. Showed up a little bit more in the second half, but they're currently 17-8. Showing a great performance on Nuke so far. And this could be a vent dive coming out from Big Academy. Very fast down. It's Anowin going down. Not with the bomb, though.
Oh, Kisei gets processed meanwhile. 2 picks on for his third. Not quite, but he's got Senator to back him up. And he gets 2 frags of his own. So nice and efficient there to deal with the eco. Not sustain any casualties whatsoever. Continue building the economy. Continue building the rounds. And continue with their CT half. And I mean, we saw an 11-4 comeback. So for Big, it's not the worst situation in the world to lose this half. But obviously, they'd rather not turn over to an 11-4 victory. 8-7 can still be workable, I think.
It certainly could be. And Big Academy need to, I would say, put up at least 5 at minimum. If they're only able to get 4 going into the second half, I think it's going to be a struggle for a comeback. Again, we saw an 11-4 half on Train, which ended up being a comeback, but I just don't know whether they've got the mental strength, Big Academy, to come back from that kind of a scoreline into the split to the upper bomb site, and they can't deal with Fame outside.
Weren't expecting him to be there. He challenges Hades as well out in the open 4-on-2 situation. And Big have been decimated here by SG.pro. SMG here for Dire, still looking for the player who is pushed up pretty close. His back's turned to the man. He's in Hut anyway, so he's covered off by hard cover in the roof. Meanwhile, Panics has made his way downstairs. The bomb is on him as well. It's glass cannon in this one, so ideally he needs his support from his teammate. It's only a Mac 10 there for him. Panics. Back up to the bomb site. The AWP spotted him. Second shot will land the frag. Anowin left alone. A 1-on-4, and I just don't see him being able to do anything from here. He'll peek. The SMG will take the frag. Double AWPs recovered for SG.pro for free.
Looking pretty simple in that round. And again, if you're trying to split into the upper bomb site from the outside players to wrap in through main, you really need to make sure that your flashes are on point, or you've got a smoke out for garage. And, well, they didn't have either of those two. And Fame just sits there really far back with that AUG. And a couple of easy kills go his way. 9-4 up. A half buy to buy up for round 15 for Big Academy. They're going to be realistically giving up double digits here for the T side, for the City side.
The boss in Hades.
Just survives.
Tagged low. RU5 couldn't get the kill shot. He does get Anowin though. Fame there to back him up. They do shoot in the back there. 2-for-2 trade, but Dire is still standing, but not for long. 2-on-2 now. AWPs in against the pistols. The P250 and the Deagle, and Panic's going to make his way straight downstairs alongside Crimbo in from ramp. They think it's still an A play, but they should be able to realize pretty quickly that's not the case. The Deagle just going to stand by, cut them off on the rotations. Their knives are out. These are 2 Deagle shots, easy to find. And Crimbo once again shines with the Deagle play. He won an eco for Big previously because of it, and here towards ramp will do the same.
That's incredible to think that Big Academy have won 5 rounds on the T side, and 2 of them have come off the back of Crimbo's eco deagles. SG.pro, there's just like That read, no one checks that. In that kind of a position when it's a 2-on-2 and they plant towards lower, you just never expect anyone to be there. And Crimbo, he always seems like he's in the most perfect positions at the right time.
Has an instinctual knowledge, I think, of where SG.PRO are going to play from. This time it's Fame that will aggress and try to get his moment to shine. Will face in against Panics, but can't take him down. Will get forced out as well by the silo presence from the upper players. In round 15, a half advantage for SG.PRO can extend for Big. It will be to turn it as close as possible. Keysay grabs the first and the second. Nice and efficient there from the AWPer. 5-on-3 advantage.
Hades going to try and bring it back, but Keysay's AWP is going to fire once again. 3 kills around the AWP on the CT side, and then Dyro's just running in through Hut, because of course he does. Crimbo, a last one left, and after what he had a magical performance in that last round, is not going to transition over to round 15, a 1-on-4 clutch. And they've got complete lobby control on the city side.
Yeah, this is impossible. There's just no way for Crimbo. He'll try. He might catch D-Ray, actually. He has no idea it's coming in from the roof entrance. Sees that bomb, sees an AWP, could potentially catch off Fame if the timing is right for him. Oh, no. D-Ray checks it. Information probably gained by the minimap, I'd assume. Either way, it's a frag, it's a 10-5 for SG.PRO to secure themselves a half victory at double digits on the board. Certainly not as fantastic as Big did on their CT side of Train, but this is also Big's map pick. So going onto their CT side half, this is a great chance to continue the comeback train.
And look, if history does repeat itself like we saw on that first map of Train, then Big Academy should be able to win out their own map pick. But I think one thing that Big Academy struggled with in that first map is that they won pistol, but there wasn't a follow-up. So for SG.PRO, they need to make sure that they're following up rounds in the second half on the T side, because they only need 6 to make it into the playoffs. It's certainly not an impossible task.
Outside control for the pistol round of SG.PRO. Fast plays into the heaven area. The USP will try to take face. Now that only 2 players got out there. Still presence towards the outside position. Seeing 2. Oh, that flick! Landing straight on the head of Fame and dropping the bomb, most importantly. Big Academy have already got an advantage, and they're still focusing on the upper heaven area. Anoin doing damage. Senator and RU Fire will fall low. Panics, or sorry, Process I should say, will fall for the CT side. And Anoin and Crimbo chiming straight through. RU Fire left alone. He's dead. What a pistol there from Big.
And it all just comes off the start. As soon as that bomb dropped outside, they go, right, they're going for outside presence. Let's just keep an eye out towards heaven and main. And from there, the information's just perfect. What an opening shot coming out from Panics with that USP. Oh, beautiful. Absolutely crispy. And with no bomb plan for SG.PRO, there's no opportunity of going for the force, but no, of course there is, Jay. Of course there's an opportunity. This is a risky play.
Yeah, it is. It is a real risky time. The scout out looking for the first play. Sees the man. Panics is ready with the AUG headshot. First frag found. Tapping his way to the second. Seeing 2 players. Seeing that bomb as well. Nades up. Fame goes down. Senator with his own scout picked up, trying to do some damage. The 5-on-3 left for him. There's just no way. No way you'll make this work.
No, shouldn't be. And that's the risk that you go for these force buys, is they don't work out. And you set yourself back an extra round. What a shutdown outside. In particular, Big Academy not afraid to go for any of these overextensions and actually look to try and take the fights rather than being passive. Oh, even RU Fire can't even take any more players down. So they only find 1 kill. Economy can really start to build for this CT side. And they can start to play with a lot of confidence, because they're starting to minimize this lead.
Yeah, 3 rounds in deficit right now between SG.PRO and Big Academy. And Eco going to make it within 2 now of the T-side advantage. Right now, SG.PRO showing no signs of being able to show resistance in the early days. Oh, look at that SMG frag. Crimbo straight in on Keysay, knowing he's going to rush out. Continues spraying in case there were more T-side players out there, but he got his kill. Dropped that bomb, most importantly. They won't know until the smoke clears, but the T's have lost a major advantage.
And didn't even drop an event. That makes it so awkward. Even for Crimbo, the SMG looking to try and take a lot of fights and find a lot of kills. Every single kill coming out through an SMG, which is always nice. And that always sucks. The worst thing is that if you go for a vent dive when it's someone without the bomb and they die, it's like, okay. But if you go for a vent dive with a player with the bomb and the bomb does not drop down the vents and it's in the open, That's probably worst case scenario.
Yeah, considering the setup, like usually you'd want that bomb to drop through the vent and ensure that they can't really pick it up if they're outside the squeaky, but the fact that they all went downstairs is massive. And look at SG.PRO aggressing, but not going so fast out here. They're playing super close. Protus there, fakes his frag. Actually, Anowin steals it away. He's still up there in the rafters, getting a 2K. Panic's chiming in with his orb, as Anowin falls a 3 versus 2, making it one. Panic still alive. And SG.PRO will pop out, take that trade. SMG close for him. SMG and a FAMAS actually is the best two weapons they have right now for the CT camp, and SG.PRO knows that you can take down one. Hades left in lobby in a one-on-one as he makes his way to the B bomb site. It's a long rotate back for the lone CT, and no defuse kit for it either.
This is very doable coming out from Senator. He just needs to make sure that he's repositioning himself in an angle which is very difficult to check. Playing around the smoke at the moment, actually going to go through decontamination door, and all he needs to do is waste time, because you're right, Hades doesn't have a kit.
Opening up the obs window now, they know where he is. Senator up for his 3K, and I think it's too far ticked actually for Hades. In fact, he's wasting so much time, there's no way in. He'll make his way up to site, check out all angles, see nothing, probably get picked apart here in the face. No, catches the kill, but even so, that was a terrible, terrible retake of Hades.
Yeah, that was really slow. He wants to try and get that AK. That's why he stayed around. But yeah, look, I'm not a fan of that. If you realize the fact you don't have a kit, yeah, if you rush down, you're going to make noise. But you've got to think to play like the Silent Ninja and walk all around the site, just trying to find information and just wasting time. If you don't get a kill towards that observation radio room area, you're done. Like if you don't get that kill instantly, then the round's over. And SG.PRO actually going to take a tactical. Big 1-on-3 coming out from Senator as they just tried to go for the upper take. Unfortunately, they couldn't really deal with any of the opening kills. We saw some great trading ability from the Big Academy side. 11-8. What a round to win for the T side. What a clutch.
Yeah, I'm surprised that with that clutch that Big Academy aren't the ones taking the tactical pause.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
And again, mostly just to rag on Hades, to be honest, because like he just took so much time trying to set that up. I realized he had the weapon disadvantage, but they should have known they did some damage to that player, you know? They should have known that FAMAS wasn't in the worst of positions. Regardless, as in the past, Big now have their rifle buy up in fall with the M4s and the AKs. That are FAMAS out for Protoss this time. M4 pushes, the company couldn't be best for it, but Anowin only gets one frag. Trades come out, AWP is close, does get fame. Senator also falls in the interim. And it's a 4 versus 2. SG.PRO now being pressured. The Orb's going to scope in, not see the player crossing out towards ramp, but Hades knows it here. Don't choke this time. The AK set up, not seeing the players. Issei drops 1. Hades comes up with a good frag to a 1 versus 3 now for the AWP. The bomb's on his back. Utility coming in to try to stop him and makes his way downstairs to the vents actually. Could secure a bomb plant once again.
At least something. He needs to be able to take this fight onto the ramp. Player has been seen, but look how much damage the Molotov's been able to do.
Really hoping for a second phase. Double doors open up. AWP could potentially wrap back over if he can find this pick. 1v1, 10 HP, he has no idea, and the AK can get recovered, so all the way back around the town to the A bomb site, or does he? Going back to B, Grit goes on site, AK spray gets a 3K, Kisei, surely not, surely you won't play my games this good to secure this clutch.
Oh my goodness, the timing on this could be absolutely everything. Does Protoss realize they're going to face each other? They're both coming in from lobby, and Kisei's got a knockdown. He's solo, he needs to get this orb out. All the timing, Protoss, oh, he's been seen with the orb. He's been seen for Kisei. This shot should be able to come through. The time is low, but Kisei knows exactly where he is, and Protoss has absolutely no information. The AWP has got all the advantages here. Protoss around the corner. Oh, no! He can't win it out. That round had absolutely everything.
Oh my god, Kisei. To bring that down to that level of wire, that could have gone magically, but just to know the state of mind, the HP numbers, and you think that if one decision was made to go back to the B bomb site, he probably would have secured the round, or might have at least got a bomb plant. Insane stuff from the man, but just not to be. That was so clutch coming in. And Big will secure their round, start to get the confidence back on the CT defensive.
Oh, what a way to be able to end off the round and to start off with another fresh start. And Panic's getting a great orb shot outside. No smokes here for SG.PRO. There is a flash, and that orb gets taken down just by dry peaks. All
right, back in for SG.PRO. 4-on-4 rotations out to the B bomb site into the tunnels in particular. Good kill for Crimbo. Comes up against RU5. Sees Senator getting around the corner here. Back up to the double doors entries. They're going to reface, take that challenge. And Crimbo drops the bomb. 4-on-2 once again for Big Academy. The AK facing Crimbo scene. Senator grabs that bomb, makes a footstep noise though. He could get swung upon. Going to challenge this player regardless, or at least he's trying to force out some sort of mistake. Making noise and taking peeks. Could go back to the A bomb site, and that's what they'll do. Kise's grabbed the orb from hell. They're still going to reposition against this. Process couldn't quite find his shot, but neither could Kise.
Oh, that molly actually not quite landing where he wanted it to. Just trying to see if he can pull a distraction away and allow Senator to wrap in through main.
Anno in, focusing on that main position. Senator takes face, he gets the headshot. 12 HP, somehow staying alive. And now they can get a bomb plant here on the backside. They're going to need to do that as well. It's the only place that's directly covered. Deagle's out, watching out for Heaven Control, hearing those footsteps on the ladders. Damage done, Crimbo finds the man, it's all Senator. 1 HP, dealt with by Process as the trades come back very quickly from Big Academy. 10 to the CT board.
Oh my goodness, this second half, we are seeing so many big rounds coming out from both sides. SG.PRO, unfortunately, just even though these rounds are being so close, they're not able to convert them. The retakes have been fantastic from Big Academy. The clutches have been fantastic. And the only round that SG.PRO have won was that 1v3 clutch coming out from Senator. That's the only one they've won in the second half, Jay.
Strength of the CT side, it seems. At SG.PRO, I mean, like, where's their tactical pause at this stage now? Like, they had one when they won that clutch. Probably not to get too overzealous, but now that they're getting pummeled back in by the CT camp, you know, they need to take a moment to probably think about this and figure out how they're going to approach this one, because, I mean, they have fallen apart here in this second half after such a good confident start as well. One round is the difference between Big and Equalize against SG.PRO, and SG.PRO are going to set themselves outside, smokes down towards Cross and such. No Incendiary to block it, so they have access to Secret.
It looks like it's going to be the silent walk, but there's already a player in towards Secret. This is Hades. He could get all the information. Ooh. His peek up, he doesn't see anything. If he refaces, he could go down.
The spread apart, can't run up the frags. They'll see two, take only one. Senator there with the pick. D-Ray the man to fall. Nade on to try to stop them or do a little bit of damage to Senator. One player up in heart and Anowin peeks in, gets that headshot. Nice and efficient on RU Fire. M4 facing next as Fane takes a 1v1 duel. Unsupported by his teammates in utility. Spray gets that frag, tries to transfer back to the bomb planter. Big have all the info they need. They know where this bomb is going. Kise just find a pick. And they've got a player out in the open. Anowin blind. 2-on-2. Orb shot missing back towards the squeak door. Can't find the second face. So retake mode now on for SG.PRO.
Now, they'll at least know that there's a player out towards Squeaky, but they're planning in the open. They're planning for main, and the retake coming through. Big Academy. Oh, the timing could not have worked better than that. The reposition of SG.PRO, realizing the fact of maybe there's a player towards Heaven, so we'll plant in the open for main, and the swing comes up. 11-11, we're tied up once again.
Oh, the difference a half makes.
Yeah, it does.
Look at that round split. Look at the amount of blue there is on that CT second half. And Eco got to come through. SG.PRO, basic pistols out. I mean, upgrades, sure, but no Kevlar to back it up. Very little utility. On paper, this should be Big Academy with a 12th and a lead gained above SG.PRO for, I think, the first time in this map up, actually. Like, I don't remember there being any sort of major lead for the big side. They might want a pistol, maybe.
Never got a lead.
They never have. Okay, well, either way, this will be a big advancement here for the CT camp and SG.PRO going to the B-bomb site here.
And Big Academy setting themselves up for a retake. They actually don't mind giving up that bomb plant to the lower bomb site by the looks of things. And plant on the outside of that smoke. Big damage in terms of nades. But what's scary, Jay, is this is going to be a 5-on-5 retake, and these deagles can get up close and personal.
All coming up to the headshots ideally here for them. There's no damage done to that CT camp, and they will set themselves up pretty nicely. Crimbo takes out RU5, smoke down on observation. They'll open up the windows for it. Round the corner, shots landing. NINEtoFIVE gets one. Fame can't get anything. Process and Panics trying back to a 4-on-2. A lot of 4-on-2 situations for the CT camp. There will be a deagle shot from NINEtoFIVE, but it goes no further than that. The defuse will come through. Big Academy, their first lead above SG.pro on this map.
What a comeback it's been. What a streak of rounds it's been. SG.pro, you're right. You know, where's the tacticals? They're starting to really lose control at the moment. I've got to be honest, like, after that 10-5 half, I kind of had a gut feeling that Big might be able to bring it back, but I certainly thought that it would have come up with a little bit more of a fight of SG.pro. Only one round in the second half. That's, again, what makes things so awkward for Nuke Training. You don't get enough rounds on that CT side, even though they got a monster amount. It's so difficult to close it out on T.
Especially when those T sides are not as fantastic as we might have thought here.
Yeah.
SG.pro, the fight is dwindling for them. And they're in the worst position in the world because our final map is Overpass, right? You talk about T-sides not being great. Big, their T-side on that particular map is absolutely stellar. So, I mean, SG.pro may be putting a lot of stock in their CT half already. In for a rude awakening. If we have to go to that third one, they have to get something pulled up, for my opinion. They have to win it in 2 if they want a chance at victory. The Orpa Panics looking to try and shut those promises down here in this round. First face of the bomb partner goes falling. Can't get a second kill, but he's found the man advantage and a HP advantage with Kisei. Basically secured it from here.
Yeah, double ramp play as well. Just a bait and switch setup. Crimbo should probably not get checked, and they're already pushing lobby. This round's done. Fame and Dire, last couple left. 2-on-5. And even just trying to get to a bomb site is going to just be such a difficult task.
Yeah, Orps on site directly, player up in the catwalk area. They're going to make some noise up on the vent area. Might force a rotation, potentially get a kill. But they're covered on all bases here. They just don't have access to the bomb site. Anowin's watching out from main in case they go through secret. Double doors or decon doors got to get open if they want to make their way into the B-bomb site. Either way, they're going to have all the appropriate angles and information checks. And I think here SG.pro are going to save their weapons. Yeah, held out in secret entrance, back below the stairs. And this will be a 13th for Big Academy with SG.pro looking to bolster their buy. They've got max loss bonus, so these AKs actually might make sense.
And I'm just thinking about what SG.pro can maybe do to at least rattle the T side. I'm thinking, where's the quick upper hit? We have not seen a fast upper take in quite some time. Just see if you can go and get, like, smoke out for main, hut molly, and just heaps of flashes, and just try and swarm the upper bomb side, put it down into a post-plant position. Because at the moment, their defaults aren't finding a lot of success.
Flashbang, smokes up. Big Academy going to set Panics towards the outside, aggressive. They suspect aggression's coming through, so blind sprays through the smoke from SG.pro. Damage like he's saying, RU5, gap in that smoke. They don't exploit it here, and they're going to start pushing in as a result of it. One player in the midst of the cross smokes from Crimbo. One being dropped, he's on for a 4K, and Anowin will close the last. What hope is there left for SG.pro? I don't think there is any.
Yeah, I think it's done now. I think it's really much done. Crimbo, it's incredible how sharp this guy is at only 17 years old. Putting up a monster performance in that round. 4 insane kills. 33 and 15 at the moment for Crimbo on this Big Academy side. A lights out performance in this second half. And yeah, I think they're done. I think there's just no way of coming back here for SG.pro. 14-11 up now for Big Academy on their map pick to take us to a third of Overpass. They're 2 rounds away.
Yeah, smokes up for Fame is the best of the utility here. The half buy for SG.pro with some players getting Kevlar and helmets and deagles across the entire board. They need like some massive, massive Crimbo style players with these deagles because they're just not finding the picks, they're not finding the trades. RU Fire, first man down, incendiary set, seeing 3 players, at the very least 1 out the gates here, the double doors. Crimbo's got 2. Not quite 3, but the M4's there to back it up. D-Ray getting his pick. Deagle out. Oh, missing its shots. Keeps needs his second headshot to a 2-on-2 situation. And they're round the corners here, getting close range. A chance now. Bought for SG.PRO, but it's going to CT on the bomb site. Orb sees one man out of the ramp position, and Process drops Kisei. It's all left to D-Ray. 1-on-2. The bomb's on his back. He can go to A.
Yeah, he can go up. But he needs to make sure he's being silent about it. Now, the RAM player of Anowin can start to wrap in through lobby. D-Ray. He's going to have time to work these, because these rotations are going to be relatively slow.
Plant down, 1-on-2. AK looking out to the squeaky position.
Oh, this is risky. He's actually getting so far away from the bomb now.
And they're going to make their way in from the opposite side of the site. So D-Ray is expecting aggression, which he just won't find. Flashes will give up the ghost, though. Big and now going to reveal their hand. Can D-Ray clutch it? Both flashbangs coming out. A third one will seal it for them. Out to upper, he sees his man, takes a premature shot. Process the box, they're both going to face together. And he can't transfer his spray. The defuse will come through for Big in the end. Slow, methodical, and patient. A beautiful map point now for Big.
Oh, what a retake. I love the fact that they're working together. We saw that one round on Train where they were sort of retaking and they gave up a 1 versus 2 clutch for SG.PRO. The way that they peaked together on Nuke, it could certainly seem that they had a chat after Train and said, like, we can't let that happen again. Peeking on each other's contacts, getting that level of elevation of one towards the bottom of the site and one on top of the silo. Oh, even some damage is being done. How has that managed to happen?
It feels like such an insignificant thing, but the fact that it's come through still forces damage on SG.PRO. Damage that the Academy can use. The spray through on Fame will take him down, start things off. AK for Adam gets 2. Can't quite follow suit on RU5, but plenty of CTs around the bomb site. Crimbo gets involved. RU5 doubles up, trying to buy a chance now for SG.PRO, but they need so much more than this. A 3-on-2 situation. Damage going to give up RU5's position. And Molotov's on towards Heaven, got to find Crimbo in the backline. If they get that pick and he's on 18 HP, they might find a chance.
But they can drop to lower if they want to, especially knowing the fact that 2 players have come out from Heaven, but I think it's already too late. Kisei, 1-on-2, a player in the backside, and a 16th round going the way of Big Academy. Only 1 round being found on the T side for SG.PRO. Nuke is all done. Overpass is going to be the next map of the series. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back after this short break.
Well, not a good sign for SG.PRO at this stage. They're going into one of Big's favourite maps to close out this series. Onto the CT start for the German core, who have a stellar T side as well. So a lot to look forward to for these boys. And Blake, honestly, I think this match is already over here.
Yeah, look, it's overpass again. We mentioned it in the pregame before this series started. It is the best map in the map pool for the Big Academy side, but at the same time, you've got to think for SG.PRO, they wouldn't let this map slide in unless they didn't have something up their sleeve. So maybe, Jay, we can get surprised, but coming out and starting off the pistol round, it will be Big Academy on that CT side. Now, for both maps so far, we've seen very weak T sides, but for Big Academy, they're normally the strongest on the T side for this map.
Yeah, and I'm expecting this first half to maybe be a bit shaky from Big, but certainly to be at their advantage eventually when they take control on the T side. 5-on-4 to start things off. First frag of the map goes the way of SG.PRO. D-Ray cutting off the aggression out towards the underpass area. The bomb will make his way out to the A bomb site as it's been basically undefended by Big to start things. A bomb plant, a 5-on-4, a retake that Big probably should end up losing here. They are so slow that a rotation, and Crimbo's going to go down to another good kill.
Look at the aggression coming out from SG.PRO. They're really trying to take the fight onto these roads, and they're winning out a lot of the fights. Hades and Anowin to try and back, but a 2-on-3 already being deeped up. This is going to be so difficult. The pressure, it just keeps continuing. Big Academy could not have a rest at any point in that round.
SG.PRO looking to do some damage and try kick things off on the right foot. If they can do so, we'll be in a very good spot for the rest of this T side half, and certainly going into their CT side is where things could get good. Their pistol win percentage is pretty decent on this map, so at least they have that much going for them, and obviously the pistol is going to get won by SG.PRO, and that aggression is going to have to come out in full to bring themselves a chance here in this map up.
Talking about percentages, about pistol rounds, Big have lost 1 pistol round in this map in the last 14 pistol rounds. So a bit crazy to see that the SG.PRO side were able to win out the first. But now you look at this second buy and think even with a force buy coming in, it's still going to be a difficult task for the T's.
Now, 2-for-1 trade for the CT camp, though. They do have control. Scout set by Panics to the back lines here. Going to keep his eyes on the mid and the bathroom's face. Crimbo out. Fame with the AK. Looking around to try and catch one of these players off. Looking onto the bomb site in particular. A minute to go to the clock. That's got a bit of a flank position. He's going to get spotted out now. The back line. The backstab from the Deagle gets his headshot. 2 players left standing. They do find a response, though.
And even the player in towards Connector can try and shut this all down. They need to make sure they're dealing with process, and they are. Now they can run into this B bomb site because Big Academy have stacked A.
Yeah, bomb plant at least to be secured. Whether the retake will hold off on its own is yet to be seen. And 2 HP for RU-Fire in particular. The MAT-10 can take him down super easy. Just got to find this angle before the Galil takes the headshot. Kisei backed up with the AK on site. The time is ticking now. RU-Fire held back to Cubby. AK advances, takes a dink down, gets 1 pick, 1-on-1 now. RU-Fire, low HP, but gets the angle when he's looking the wrong way at the wrong time. 2-0 start for SG.PRO.
Oh, what a clutch to come out from the Russians. RU-Fire just on 2 points of health. He didn't extend really at all in that sort of water cubby position. Made sure that he had a bit of a pixel headshot angle to work with. And Big Academy, both players coming in from the same position. Well, 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 I did not think that RU-Fire was going to be able to hold off that 1-on-1.
Very well played on his part. Eco to come through from the CT cam, and it's the conversion round with the force pipe back, and the Eco to probably get decimated all the same. Good nades putting D-Ray back on 2 HP, so he just can't seem to escape that number. And Process on 35 points of health of his own right. So they are tagged up on the CT camp as well. MAT-10 taking long-range duels. USP catches Senator off guard, so a couple of good frags, but they left A-bomb site completely open, so this will be Fatin rushing up. Probably should be able to deal with Crimbo all the same. Good Deagle headshot. Okay. Way back in now for the CT camp. SG.PRO very far away from the site.
Oh, what a shot coming out from Crimbo. And the further he aggresses, the more information he's going to hear. Yeah, he's heard all these footsteps. He could be able to call the information over. They'll start to rotate off a B. The Deagle doesn't find any more, but look at the damage done to the T side.
And Process ready with the P250. He could win both of these fights, especially against D-Ray, who's going to play in first and closest to him. He's going to go for the knife. No, makes his way past the smokes. They don't have an idea. As Panics goes down, it all comes up the Process, the timing, the shots to connect. They're going to wrap back over the B. RU-Fire's been seen. Back's turned to the last man over at Bank. He's going to escape 30 seconds. Has no idea what his player is. And D-Ray, knowing that he looking the wrong way, knowing he was firing at the wrong position, therefore takes his kill for 2 HP to stay alive. 3-0 for SG.PRO. But a lot of damage done to that T-side with Big on the rifles. This is going to be a very broken economy state.
I'll tell you what's so insane is that we've seen 2 rounds in a row where they've come down to 1-on-1s with SG.PRO's last player being on 2 HP twice now. You've got to think for Big Academy, they won't exactly know the numbers, but you'd be pretty annoyed that you win out 2 rounds where there's just so low HP in that 1-on-1. AWP looking to try and find an opening firefight from Panics. A lot of aggression to come out with this AWP. Goodbye. Yep.
That's a good shot there from RU-Fire. Panics a little bit too far forward. And SG.PRO here on the T-side line have gotten sweet control here. Hades, M4 crossed out, smoked down very fast, but he could catch him off guard. The M4 spray from the man on the bomb site to back him up is just going to be decimated very quickly. And these T-side players have looked so confident from the Russians. Expected this to a certain extent, but with Big, this map being so confident for them, I would have thought that CTs would have held a bit more contention.
You'd certainly think so, but not the case in the early game of Overpass so far. SG.PRO looking really sharp at the moment. It looked a little bit awkward on the entries to the A bomb site. It certainly seemed like some of the players may have been slightly out of position, but they established the crossfire, and that's the main thing, is that even though damage is done to Fame and RU-Fire, it doesn't matter because no one went down. And Big Academy off to a bit of a slow start. They should be able to force up into the following round. Anowan can drop a Fama. Process can drop a Fama as well. If they want to, of course. Decisions, Jay.
No decisions needed for SG.pro though. The only decision they need to make is how fast are we going to play this next round. Press W to win, or maybe play, a bit more carefully in the mid control. Either way, they have maintained themselves and re-established their economy state. Remember how damaged they were and how low the money line is? It's completely night and day difference here from pre-game in round 4 versus pre-round in round 5. So rifles plenty, AWP and AKs and everything. Looking real efficient here for the T side. SG.pro in a really confident spot once again. As you mentioned, Fama's coming out here for the CT. Still an AUG for Panic, so it's not the worst buy here.
That certainly isn't. And the boost up with the AWP.
Oh, not quite.
Should have been a shot that was hit there from Kisei. But straight away, when they get the information the towers come up, Panix is now aggressive out towards Fam, and he's got a teammate to back him up that's pushing Con.
Frag from Panix, out aggression. Senator takes a trade right back, so a 4-on-4 situation.
Oh, Kisei's
You
got to read
mentioned the
this.
aggression. Kisei, as he's all blocked on, takes the man down. Missed out the second player, but D-Ray's got his angle covered. So SG.pro maintain control, a 4-on-2, and this is looking scary good. Like scary good from the T side.
Yeah, you've got to think that Big Academy are probably going to get frustrated now, knowing the fact, this is a really great map for them. They're really not finding too many opportunities, especially in this round here. Even for Crimbo, can just get double swung on from the two players. How does he even survive this? How? How was this happen?
What?
How is this now an advantage coming out from the Big Academy side? Crimbo's done it again.
This might just win the round off the back of this. Are you fire? Going to clutch this in a 1 versus 2. They haven't taken the 1v1. Actually, they have taken the 1v1 faces. Very different positions, but he picked up that bomb. Small lapse in the moment. Going to get back out to the bathrooms. Crimbo, I think he knows. He knows. Seeing the man spraying through, taking him down. 4K for Crimbo. Another big clutch here for the man. And a way back in for the Big Academy side. A first on that CT board and a final start to overpass.
Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. The fact that he's able to just do so much work. How he doesn't get double swung here from the T-side players, I won't know. How he even finds that second kill onto Dire should never happen. The trade should have been instant there. And they get away with a little bit of luck, a little bit of skill, all mixed together. And they can be happy because they've been able to win out their first round. And Kisei doesn't even have enough money for an AWP.
Ooh, Panix does though. He'll take RU Fire down into the underpass connector area. Where's the adjustment from SG.pro? We've seen them win out on aggression in a couple of different opportunities here so far on this map for Big Academy, but there's always been some sort of response. M4 out towards long will be the receiving end of that response. Senator gets that frag. AWP there against the first. Not quite the second, so only a 2K for Panix in a 3-on-3 scenario here. The Molotov's back for the CTs. They've got an AK on site. Crimbo saving that from the last round, swings in on Kisei. Kisei gets his kill, and there it is. There's the response coming through from SG.pro eventually. Bomb site under their control, retake up for Big, and a backstab coming in from Anowin.
I'll tell you what, I'm actually kind of surprised they're going for this, but the backstab works out really nicely. Great swing coming out from Anowin in the 2-on-2. This is very doable for the CT side because the bomb, it hasn't even been committed to a plant yet.
Yeah, plant open for the bank position. A big frag for Anowin to find, but can they turn it into a round victory? He's facing away in the long position, seeing Davey on the shoulder bait. Second face takes him down. Kisei left alone. Flashbang that you can pick up and use. Is that a Molotov there, actually? I can't quite tell. Either way, he's facing blind. Seeing Process with his back turn. Big kill to look for his second. And another clutch back-to-back, this time for SG.pro and Kisei with a 3K. Another fantastic round for the T side.
But what is going on with clutches and SG.pro? They've won 2 1-on-1s in this map so far, and now a 1-on-2. They've won 3 clutches in the 6 rounds that have been played. Unbelievable signs. And you've got to think every single time SG.pro clutch, Big Academy go, guys, like, what are we doing? How can we keep letting them clutch like this? And they've got no money. They've been reset again. 5-1 on the T side board from SG.pro. And we spoke about the T side being pretty awful in both map 1 and map 2. Doesn't seem like that's the case in map 3.
Yeah, I mean, I expected the T side to go well for Big. I did not think it would be so efficient for SG.pro. They're looking a lot like, you know, the confident sort of T sides of previous overpasses in history. Not comparable to Big's T side. I mean, the strength of Big right now is in the overall aggression. Haven't seen much of that aggression here on the defensive half. We might be seeing it a lot more from the second half onwards, but right now, SG.pro are happy just to take easy control. A frag found by RU5 to kick things off against Panics. Where did Big go from here?
Well, they keep going for aggression, and they keep getting shut down. Central in particular is finding so much impact at the moment. And it seems like for Big Academy, no one's really stepping up to the plate. It honestly seems like Crimbo, even though he's only got 7 kills, is the one that's kind of at least making these rounds close. Outside of him, no one's really showing up. They need some star fraggers to come alive.
(6-1) for SG.pro. 7 rounds played. And I don't know where you go from here if you're Big. I mean, they have started things off well enough here in this round, obviously, with the damage done, the utility on D-Ray and Fame will set themselves up for something. Need to get the kills, though. With those 2 players still being in play with AK, it's like one good, accurate headshot, timed well to deny any sort of shots off from the M4s, will be enough to secure it here. 1:20, and they are playing a bit more passive off the back of that aggression.
Fame is just going for a bit of a solo play at the moment. Doesn't really have any teammate support. He's just seeing if he can find an opening kill. And I really like the confidence that they've just allowed Fame to do whatever he wants. Even out towards long. Panic's looking in the complete wrong direction at the wrong time. He's going to get sandwiched in.
The timing for Big couldn't be worse. AWP out the gate, dealt with by Kisei. 2 players swinging in. AWP getting grabbed now by the main AWP of the T side. M4 for Hades, flashed out, completely blind, still in the open. Trying to find a frag, he can't do it. Crimbo left alone now on the A side defense. 5-on-3 overall. Does find Fame, at least in the mid control. D-Ray and RU5 are also in a bit of a low HP scenario, but still they swing on Kisei. He gets a 2K. And Big got to get Anowin into the backlines very quickly here. Anowin, Process has got to hold off for as long as possible. Going to hear footsteps all around him in the midst of this smoke. Molotov might force him back. We'll see where Keith stays. That light was spray on 2 players, but trades back, leaves it all on Anowin. Again, coming from mid, and they're partnering away from his position.
As soon as he uses that flashbang, as soon as he fires, they'll know exactly where he is, so he really needs to be silent about this. But the problem here is, even the T side are now starting to get control because they've pushed into bank and pushed around that garbage stairs position, so they know it has to be a backstab, whether it's out through connector or long, it has to be a flank setup.
M4 looking in, doesn't see the T side player, flicks onto the head, but can't get the shot before RU5 gets it first. That's the danger of not capitalizing on the HP advantage. SG.pro 7-1 up now. Where's the tactical for Big? You know, like where is where is the sort of like, you know, a changing basis and the readjustment to take out SG.pro? Like, if anything, this is not this round maybe, but maybe the round afterwards would be the perfect time with a buy to fix up what's wrong, because right now there is a lot wrong.
There certainly is. Oh. That was another chance coming out from KC, but yeah, no, unfortunately not going to get another opportunity like that. And from there, the CTs start their aggression out towards the short position and through connector, but any single time aggressions come out through con, Senator's just ready for it. He's just waiting. Yeah, he's doing it again.
Well, smokes on, T-side players out into the birthday party area. The Dealer Crimbo hoping to challenge into this mid face, but there's nothing they can really do. Minute to the clock and backed up across the SG.pro board. I mean, just not being offered a single opportunity at all. And SG.pro Eventually, they do find one angle. Crimbo aggressive against RU5, gets a deagle shot, and Panic's actually hearing his footsteps. He's going to force a rotation back from the main CT force.
They know it has to be a B play. All the info's come out, and you've got to think no one's going to really be watching this backstab. They can set themselves up for a B side stack.
Molotovs at the ready, smokes back down from Crimbo, going to try and stall for a bit of time. They've only got 30 seconds left. But him and Anowin and Hades taking damage. Kills coming in for the CTs though. 4 in a row for Panics and Process. Get them 2 rounds on the board for Big Academy. At long last, something going the way of the German side.
And you've just got to think from there. I mean, what a smart play. The fact that Panic's is so aggressive up through con, but he doesn't overextend. They've tried overextending out through connector, and they've paid the price for it every single time. He waits, he gets the information. They even put the utility down of the light util they had. 7-2 up for the Russian side. Another bit of great damage coming out in terms of utility. Again, both Kisei and Senator taking a chunk of the nade.
Once again, damage done by Big, but not turning it into a kill early on. I mean, they are pretty passive across the CT line, but that passiveness has cost them quite a lot. SG.pro are able to quickly isolate the kills and take them down. Even when they have to aggress so far as to get into the bomb site, you know, like just Big Academy don't have a response. He smokes down T side, setting over to the mid position. Flashes over as the smokes return, and the AWP just watches on for whatever he can. A minute to the clock, and SG.pro is slowly taking map control this time.
Hades wants to get a little bit of aggressive around this smoke around Divider. Great shot coming out from Panic, straight away falling back, not overextending for a second phase.
Up in, good kill from D-Ray. Panic gets a kill back on towards him, turns on with a double on long. Almost a triple, but RU5 domes him. There's a 3-on-2 for SG.pro. Bomb on the back of the low HP man. They plant to be secure. Manic sprays from the AKs, having to take players out. They do catch one of the open. The transfer comes back from Crimbo to get 2 kills and get 3 rounds for Big Academy.
Crimbo just making sure that he's not being seen. He's playing a very sneaky setup towards that truck position, waiting for the bomb plant to even start, and swinging out at the most perfect time possible. And Big Academy, this might be the start of what they need to just kind of regain some control at the moment on Overpass. They've finally been able to break the bank of this Russian side, and it's taken, well, 10 rounds so far to at least be able to do that.
What is this?
I think they're just waiting for the nades. Just kind of messing around a little bit, waiting for the CTs to use all their, you know, HEs and incendiaries and what have you.
I thought it was going to be some weird sort of like pistol stack, like you see on the CTs when they set themselves up at the old grill position, on like Inferno, for example, or like the stack up on A short, or on A long, actually, I should say, also in Inferno, and stuff like that. Except out in T-Con, which was going to be confusing to me because you'd have to expect the CTs to aggress towards you. I mean, like if you were in that position with rifles and saving, and if you were on the CT side, I could see where that you'd be coming from with that, but. SG.pro do think better of it in the end, and they go out to the mid control into the bathrooms area, or out flick from Panic's missing that first shot. They are damaged up though. There's a good frag, USP with the second kill. Trying to make it 3, evades that flashbang, but they're going to line up and take damage. Senator gets 1 frag for the T-side camp, but everybody's just going to end up falling. Senator actually got a TK, I didn't even realize that, so all 5 alive for Big Academy. Finally, some rounds in a row, and some confident rounds on the board for the German core.
Yeah, it's good to see that we're seeing some confident rounds in a row. Panic's just looking pretty sharp on this AWP. He's being very consistent, which is always good to see. But you've got to think for SG.pro, are they going to go for the stack again? Because Fire's got the AWP rather than Kisei. This is a little bit interesting. I suppose that's because he's going glass cannon. So I'm guessing that's the reason why he's got the AWP out. Oh, Crimbo loves this spot.
3-man boost.
I've been watching a lot of Big Academy in NINEtoFIVE so far, and they run this at least 1 or 2 times every single overpass. A-scene. Goodbye. They know.
Well, clearly SG.pro have been watching a lot of Big Academy in NINEtoFIVE, and they know what they like to play as well. But who would expect a 3-man boost with an AK, with rifles? Usually that's like a pistol eco strat. But for this one, it's going to be a rifle lost. Almost a pick gained back by the AWP, but Panic's landing the leg on RU Fire. Not quite the 4-on-4 they wanted to. course, now Orbs got a bit more passive, though. 15 HP for the man. He's susceptible to trade. Fame's made his way out from long, though, and he's spotted one of the CT players. This is going to be an easy kill. Hades has no idea, and they've gained A-site control.
This round's pretty much over. Fame can start to take control quite deep into Bank, and Big Academy are already saving. They're not even moving off B. There's no way they can win this round. It is all done and dusted. An 8th on the board for SG.pro, and yeah, like we've been able to cast them, I think maybe once or twice on this map before, and a couple of other times I was just watching the stream and we saw Crimbo. It wasn't always Crimbo, but even on the gun rounds, they were doing it sort of 2-3 times in a game. And I was thinking in the back of my mind, yeah, it works well when it's sort of not detected, but if you keep running it every single game and your opposition at least just watch one of your demos, they're going to know. And that's exactly what happened. D-Ray was expecting it immediately.
Yeah, frags all pouring in for SG.pro as they look for the exits on these two players out to the T-spawn. Or frag for Panic does come through, at least catch Senator, so that's one exit, but no more than that. And SG.pro will turn an advantage at the end of their T-side half, so... Rebuy. Orp in, M4's out. Standard stuff, of course, for the CT side. Anowin left to invest with $7,200, so he's got plenty of money for a second Orp, in fact. Okay, this could get real interesting from Big.
And looking like they actually want to try and take some early control, or at least trying to see if they can find an opening fight. We're seeing the fountain control coming up, and straight away, Fame just pushing through that smoke. Flashbang not blinding off the two players that are watching it in the angle, and Big Academy, they're at least looking more comfortable on the CT side. Even with an 8-4 lead, it's good to see that they've been able to at least start to take some control back.
In return to it, 8-7, then that's a very winnable half for Big Academy. Again, if their T-side is anything like we've seen on Overpop before, be a chance. But D-Ray going to turn it to a 4-on-4 as he tries to deny that big round coming in for the CT cam, and Senator catching one over in connector as well. The reads from the T side are just fantastic, but the Orb drops that bomb out in the open, one player out of water. Kisei gets that frag, and now Anowin's got a bit more pressure. Panic's crossfiring with his Orb at heaven, going to look down to the pillar position, but couldn't see the player. The bomb plant to be secured. Flashes over, will try and keep the T side players suppressed, but they do get a bomb plant in the end. They have to get some sort of Orb shot here from one of these two men, and they're just so passive at the moment, Big.
Yeah, they really are. It's so difficult to try and retake a bomb site, especially with double Orbs. Man disadvantage, they might even just try not to go for the save here. They've got a lot of money, but they don't really have any entrances, and yeah, after that, after Panics goes down, Anowin goes, yeah, I'm out of here. I'm saving this into the next round. Another victory for SG.pro. This is really scary because, again, you'd certainly probably expect, looking at this veto, that Big Academy are favourites in this last map, and it seems like they've certainly been caught off guard, Jay.
Indeed. It was a good start as well for Big, but it just wasn't enough. It's the Orb being saved will enable a rebuy to come through, and I'm thinking that Anowin might be wondering what would have happened if he had saved his money, because the economy is going to limit the utility buy here for Big Academy. They're still going to get double Orb setup out though, and I wasn't really a big fan of that, because considering that there were two players on the retake, and they're unable to get that first pick. Panic straight out towards mid, takes his fight, misses his shot, loses HP, but Anowin does chime in over at Monster, so it is recovered.
It's good to see at least that one of the Orbs is being able to find an impact kill. Even for Kisei, he's just running out through COD, not even worried about the player in connector.
The Orb standing, ready for D-Ray, good flick, a second pick, a 5-on-3, and AK turns around for Fame, gets Anowin at least for one good kill. AWP scoping in, Process with the M4 out, they're going to make their way out. Good shot from Kisei, close range, Crimbo and Process hold the line, and they do drop that bomb, leave it all to Fame in a 1-on-3 situation. Smokes down, sees his face, Crimbo gets his man, gets his fifth, gets Big Academy up by a margin.
Okay. Look, 5 rounds, it's certainly, I don't think, enough. Maybe 6, you can sort of say, okay, we can establish the comeback if we get off to a good start, but you really don't want to be going down 5 to 10. The money's actually not that great for SG.PRO. It means that there's going to be a Galil out for fame and not a massive amount of utility either. In saying that, though, there is a Fammer up on the city side, so you can say that both teams don't quite have the perfect buy.
Oh, Spline spray in from Process, gets no damage. Minimal amounts done to the T side camp. Meanwhile, Process is going to get returned to about 62 points of health. That's unfortunate, considering we were getting so close to the T side players down in Connector, but SG.PRO slowly making their way into mid. Panics has no idea. This could be a knife frag. Well, no, NINEtoFIVE just hands onto the quick headshot on the spray through for Master. For Hades, dealt with also just as quickly. NINEtoFIVE, no mercy shown. No mercy shown by NINEtoFIVE. Entering, gets 3, closes the rounds. There's no way this retake's coming in. Like, Anoin and Process better like sacrifice something ungodly to the heavens, because NINEtoFIVE is the devil incarnate. 4 kills. And now looking for an ace. It's D-Ray, the man most likely to get it, but either way, SG.PRO. Ooh, good frag from Anoin, but this is a 10 to 5 regardless of who gets this exit frag. NINEtoFIVE, ace time, there it comes through. 5 frags for 10 rounds for SG.PRO.
Всем привет, друзья, подписчики мои, это я,
Unbelievable from NINEtoFIVE. He's one of the youngest kids on this lineup, 17 years old again. Him and Crimbo have been putting up some unbelievable performances in this best of 3. This map in particular from NINEtoFIVE, he's really come alive. You even saw that last round, a confidence to just absolutely obliterate your opposition. Just have a look at some of these kills again. The third one for me was like ridiculous. The fact that he just keeps running.
NINEtoFIVE, like, just monstered his way into the bomb site. Like, that was the end of the run right there. It was ridiculous. And now to the pistol round for Big Academy, and this is the confident pistol output that we like to see from this T side. Straight out of Monster into the B bomb site. But are you fire? Are you headshots? Crimbo, last man, and he's going for a 4th. He can't quite make it happen. P250 without Kevon needs to land some serious heads of his own, and the backstab's coming in. SG.PRO deal with the rush, so good.
The nade placage was fantastic to start it off, putting down some players to low HP, but they don't even need to worry about that. The headshots coming through. Are you fired towards this barrel's position? Ooh, these shots, Jay. These shots. And normally, one of the best pistol players around that barrel's position is probably Tizian from the normal big side. But it seems like RU Fire is contesting that at the moment.
Find out whether they can replicate that consistently later. But now, another fast play up from Big Academy, SMGs and NINEtoFIVE, and they're going to rush it again. They held off against this last one. They're going to do so again with very different positions. Kills coming in for SMGs, a 4 versus 2, and Big Academy just getting ripped apart. They can't take the same aggressive face as they did before. Now this is getting scary. Now it's time for Big to worry.
Друзья, всем привет, с вами я, Вадик. Пожалуйста, подпишитесь на канал, поставьте лайк. Ну, я же для вас, друзья, подписчики. Ну вы что, смотрите. Уже 3-я карта, я нахуй все проспал, даже не видел эту игру. Все, поставьте, пожалуйста, лайки, подпишитесь на канал.
I'm really worried. I just don't see the comeback being possible here, Jay. This is going to be SG.PRO going up to 13 rounds to just 5 from Big Academy. And for the SG.PRO side, they were 0-2 in the Swiss stage, Jay. They've won 2 best of 3s in a row to get to this position. The XM doesn't find anything, though.
No bonus money and an auto shotgun now going for the T side. I wonder if anyone can put it to good effect. The aggression coming in from Process. He's going to lead that charge out to the long position. SMG of RU Fire, not getting the man down. Going to see where they're coming from. At least know that they've got that long position. Fame gets a kill to return. So 4-on-4. Mid control established. Panic's going to get NINEtoFIVE next out. And he's all on D-Ray here. Out to the platform. Ready for them to round this corner. Hades going to check it. Spray goes awkward. He doesn't get all the frags. And actually the shotgun works well for Anoin next. So 3-on-2 situation. That nade does not do as much damage as it looks like it's going to do here. And RU Fire going to back up Fame on the bomb site. They're going to counter-rotate back to A.
Oh, I like the play. Very smart play. Rotating the players in. Fame, though, didn't see Crimbo. The timing on this could be everything. And they can now bring this bomb back to B. Of course they will. Are you firing a 1-on-3?
Yeah, left out with not much that he can do at this stage. Plant down. And Big Academy do chime back in with a good eco. Good deagle shots. 3K for Crimbo. Once again, the hero for Big. And a brilliant stick to hold themselves alive.
Whenever he's got a deagle in his hands, it's just always like the magic happens. There's always something. And even that nade, it was supposed to go out towards a graffiti position, ended up going back towards the T side, which could have been very awkward, didn't do a great amount of damage, which is always nice. And SG.pro think, okay, we're going to get $1,900 in the next round, so we don't have to buy here, but of course we will.
Друзья, я хочу опять попросить подписаться на канал, потому что никто не подписался вообще зовсім. Ноль активаций, хлопці. Будь ласка, подпишитесь на канал.
It's like Bulgarian teams, just always forcing. To be fair though, Jay, look at the buy for the T side. You've got 2 SMGs of MP9s, an AWP, an M4 and an AK. So at the same point, you can kind of say, well, they would have been able to get a complete full buy in the next round, but they're working off a buy of the T side, which is kind of like an equal playing field. It's not great for them either.
This force needs to work well for SG.pro. And they have got the buffer of 6 rounds between them and Big, so I mean, there's always that much. But if they can win this, then they could possibly turn them out victory, and they don't want to let this drag out, because if Big's T-side gets spooled up, and if it gets momentum, then SG.pro are 6 ways from screwed. Like, they just can't afford to let it happen.
Yeah. Very slow, very methodical coming out for the T side, but there's actually a bit of pressure now coming out from long. IU5 wants to get a bit of information out towards bathrooms because no one's actually holding this angle at the moment. They could walk into this A bomb site.
He's sent to mid control. SMG of RU Fire looking to attempt face. He's not going to go too aggressive though. He's expecting the T's to come around to him, and they won't. 43 seconds to the hit. Flashes go over, and now RU Fire acts Tuesday with the orb gonna hold off. He lands a collab tag, gets 1 pick on Posters, and Brian gets Hades as well. SMG in the back, drops it all, and Kisei, you him. You're not stopping them. What a round from SG.pro.
Oh my goodness, Kisei. Well, he got a little bit of criticism from us on train in the first map of the series, underperforming. But my goodness, in the second map and the third as he come alive, that round, that last kill, what a shutdown coming out from the Russians. And Big Academy, oh, even look at their buy. It's rough. It's really rough. Yeah, you got your AWP onto Panics and you got a couple of AKs to work with, but Anna wins on a Tech 9 and a deagle up for Crimbo.
Boost up for Senator to get this first pick. The timing. Oh, SG.pro. Not getting away with that one. I mean, if he waited for literally 2 extra seconds, 2 extra seconds, they would have found that opening kill, and that could possibly have sealed the deal right there.
A bit unfortunate, but unfortunately, those things happen in Counter-Strike sometimes. The boost coming up, rather than boosting the AK up, they're actually going to boost the deagle up for Crimbo. They would have heard that drop off, so they know there's 2 players in short control. Oh, they want a counter boost.
For Oxys, the man takes him down. SG.pro play that well. Eventually, the boost gets a kill. It's a 5-on-4 situation, and I believe they also lost one of their rifles as well, so that's a big pickup for the CT cam. The orb still set here for Senator. Alongside D-Ray with a crossfire, passive control here on the B site defense. And now flashes and smokes come over. They're going to start to execute here to the B bomb site. Orb shot missing for Senator, forced back by damage. AK going to round over to the ramp position. The orb's ready for it as well. Counter Incendiary is going to force the bomb partner out to a different position. The scope out for Senator does not quite land there, but the plant out to the sandbags next. At 20 seconds to the clock, it'll be a 5-on-4 retake. Turning at this in a tour, Hades and Panic get 2 kills, and just like that, the whole round falls apart. Big Academy, where did that come from?
Well, okay, maybe a little bit of a late resurgence to come out from the Germans. The youngsters, what a post plant to come out after they lose the opening kill from the counter boost on the city side. The trades were just instant, absolutely instant. Trying to just stay in this game, trying to stay alive. Because in case you're just joining the stream, this is the last best of 3 in the Swiss stage. One of these teams are going to be going into the playoffs, Jay, and one of them will be eliminated.
Seems like it here. SG.PRO still 3 away from that victory. Big Academy, obviously with their buyback against a force buy, they are at the advantage in terms of the weaponry. They just need a good round. If they can do that, they will stay alive for probably at least a 13-9, 13-10 scoreline. If SG.PRO win it though, then they just tick one step closer to that all-important 16. M4 of E-Ray catches one, does not get a second. The FAMAS Orca with the spray. And Anowin gets a 2K for it. Smoke out, going to continue his campaign out of here. I think he knows there's a player at Toxic. Misses that Molotov though, but falls back.
Oh, look at Fame though. Fame's starting to get aggressive, and you know what? If they start to realize that they don't see anything up from long, they can rotate this bomb up through connector. Hades is going to bring it over. Process is going to say A's open, and Fame's going to be able to cut off a couple of players in con, surely.
4-on-3 situation. Kisei looking out with the M4. When will he face what he kept going to think? He'll see the man. Can't take him down though. Backs up. Fame though comes in the right moment. And that mid control works well for SG.PRO. But they have conceded the A bomb site. Process is going to aggress. They weren't set up for a B take. They were going towards A all the while. And SG.PRO, awkward retake. They might consider saving their weapons.
This is going to be really tough. A fake coming out from Hades just to see if he can pull anyone to fake up. The process, yeah, I think this is done now. You probably have to look to try and go for the save. In saying that, though, considering it's a force buy, they might want to still try and go for this. Oh, no, they're out of there.
Nah.
They're out of there. They're not interested. They pick up an AWP, so at least they're able to upgrade. Man, that could have been really spicy. It just comes down to timing. Like, they deal with the short players really nicely, but unfortunately, with Fame running down con, it actually pulls his sort of attention away from that A bomb side. And Big Academy, they just walk into A.
They expected it to be a B play, and if it was a B play, the SMG could have made all the difference in the world.
Yeah, could have.
The fact that it wasn't is really what cost them there, you know, again, not defending the A bomb site. And I mean, even then, Fame was not in a really good position to really defend A because he was pushed up mid. You know, they looked for the mid control, as you mentioned, the repositioning. 13 for SG.PRO. And Anowin really opened up that round. A fantastic 2K from him. Mistakes made on the FAMAS, though. He could have found a trade, but his spray was just way too high.
Yeah, that really kind of opened up the round from Anowin. The fact that he's able to get 2 kills there. Probably should have only got 1 and got traded, but he wins out that fight. And again, holding them in the game. Another tactical pause coming out from SG.PRO. They're going to force the issue again. Like, they could have completely saved, or they could have completely ecoed with the brought in 2 rifles, but they're now going into this with a force buy. The one thing that worries me the most about these force buys is that when they don't work out, you're just wrecking your economy over and over again.
And SG.PRO are running out of rounds to afford that sort of commitment. They really need to get a good rifle out of that. Here we go. Stuck in. SMG of D-Ray gets 1. Oh, you fire gets 2. They've dropped the bomb. They've got the man advantage. And the force buy works wonders. Every CT player here to shut it all down. And shut it down they will. That is disastrous for Big.
It really is. It absolutely is. 4 players at this B bomb site, but just the SMGs. The SMGs do it all. The crossfire being set out from Monster. 14 rounds now up for SG.PRO. Now, they made it into the playoffs, Jay, last NINEtoFIVE won. They're 2 rounds away from doing it again.
Unreal. Unreal what SG.PRO pull out with their backs against the wall. And if they win the next one, it's going to be a completely broken economical state here. 14-8. 2 from victory and qualification for the playoffs. And a minute and 28 to set it up here. It is just default out from the T side. Fast out, RU5 gets that pick. D-Ray gets a secondary kill to a 5-on-3. And once again, the execution, the confident T-side hits we've seen from Big in the past, just didn't dealt with so well by SG.PRO. 2 left standing in Hades and Panics. They do get a couple of picks back for the AWP. Kisei responds, and it's all left to Panics in a 1-on-3 situation. This must be a 15th for SG.PRO.
You'd have to think so, especially with a player in the back line. Senator, of course, he's the one to shut it down. And with no bomb plan, there is no money, Jay. There is literally no money. Like, the highest they've got is $2,600 on Panic. There's just going to be pistols. It's just going to be upgraded pistols, maybe a bit of utility to come out. What a rough buy for what could be the last round of the game.
I imagine it would be, like, just this is so broken from the T-side forces. Tech 9s, Deagles, Forceport helmets, Kevlar and helmets. It's broken beyond belief for Big. Like, this hit over to the monster position. This split from short potentially has got to be everything for the Big Academy side.
And they're just trying to fake out towards A, using a fair bit of utility. But even with that, there are still 2 AKs at that B bomb side. And you've got to think they're the big damage dealer, these 2 AKs.
Diego in mid position for Process. Ooh, gets Kisei. If he gets another kill, it'll be a way back in. Dealt with by RU5 though, so they do respond. But now here come the T-side players out the gate into the B-bomb site. Damage done to Hades and the D-Race, and it's all going to burn a little bit alive. Blind sprays on the smokes, and they have tagged up the CTs quite a bit, but not as much as the CTs have tagged them. In comes Fame, takes one from Heaven. Seen on the bomb site as the bomb part of the position. Taps up from the AKs back at T-Ramp. 4-on-3, nades come up. Hades drops. Crimbo damage, looking for a Deagle shot. His Deagle's been fantastic in this series, but not today. The Tech 9 is the only thing standing, and Big Academy are done. SG.PRO move forward out of Swiss as the final team into the playoffs. And there it is. What a matchup from SG.PRO. What an adjustment as well.
Ну вот, друзья, третья карта подошла к концу. И спасибо всем за просмотр, спасибо за подписки. Всем удачи.
Yeah, look, it really is. SG.PRO, they did so much work. They really did. Like, look, map number 1 and map number 2 was very difficult for T-sides for both teams. It was really looking awkward, but we go into that third map and they've got the right mindset. They get off to a really great first half. They're able to close it out in the CT, but honestly, you got to think for Big Academy, I don't want to take anything away from SG.PRO, but it's disappointing to see them go down like this, considering how much presence we've seen from them on Overpass. We've said it in the pregame, it's their best map in the map pool, and they got 16-8 on it.
And you think about the run the Big Academy have had so far, you know, I don't think a whole lot of people expected them to be in this position. The fact that they had 2 chances to qualify, you know, they beat the likes of X